Indeed.
Can I have counsel identify themselves for the record, starting with the public?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Canton, Special Prosecutor.
Okay, Mr. Mello.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Timothy Bradel on behalf of Aiden Carney, who's here before me for the record.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for hearing us.
All right, you should be seated. Okay,
Judge, sorry today for arraignment. May I proceed?
yes.
Mr. Bradel, does your client waive the right to a formal meeting?
We do, Mr. Clerk.
Thank you. 1 through 8, intimidation of a witness, 9 through 13, 15, and 14 through 16, conspiracy. Mr. Keating, how do you wish to plead? Guilty or not guilty? Not guilty. Plead. Thank you. Yes. Question of bail?
Not available.
I beg your pardon?
Certain conditions, Your Honor. Yes.
Okay, and I'll hear you.
Your Honor, preliminarily, I just would like the record to reflect, there's been several conversations between defense counsel and I believe Mr. Brittle and I have actually gotten along quite well.
Good.
Thus far, anyway. And with respect to the timing of this arraignment, I'd like the record to reflect there's been some public comment that we had represented to the defense that the arraignment would not take place until after the Christmas holiday. It was advanced to today, Your Honor, because Mr. Bradel will be away, and we're looking to accommodate that schedule. So I would like that to the record reflect that's the reason it's being held when it's being held.
Sure.
In terms of
We were open for business next week, and we were prepared to do it next week, but I understood Mr. Bradel was going to be away.
Judge, obviously this proceeding today is not being held in a vacuum. Your Honor has heard the facts of the cases that gave rise to the indictments appearing before you today. Unless Your Honor wants a summary, I will not repeat them. It's certainly been discussed publicly in this courtroom before Your Honor.
Right.
And to save.
I don't need a summary. What are you suggesting as conditions?
Your Honor, we're looking for stayaways again. One of the problems we've had, Judge, and I've spoken to Mr. Bradel about this several times, the defendant has, in the Commonwealth's opinion, continued to violate the original conditions of bail, including those that were amended by Your Honor. If Your Honor were to look at the video, provided Mr. Bradel has received a copy as well with thumb drive, it's clear that Mr. Carney is encouraging his minions, his followers, in the context of his blogs and YouTubes, etc., to continue to harass witnesses. He'd make a statement such as, "I can't do this, and I'm not telling you to do this, but you can do this, but I'm not saying you can't do this. Don't put words in my mouth. You know, read between the lines. Read between the lines on approaching these witnesses." And he's made similar statements several times. And it's the Commonwealth's contention that this is a very disingenuous way that the defendant is indirectly encouraging others to indirectly harass these witnesses and to intimidate these people and take it in front of their homes, etc. What I can represent, Your Honor, is that we had the grand jury proceedings underway. The Commonwealth was aware that most likely this matter would be before Your Honor or before the Superior Court in relatively short order. We did not proceed with bail revocation in the district court. However, I can assure Your Honor and would like the defendant to be on notice that there's one more instance where he is online suggesting to people or encouraging people either directly, disingenuously, or whatever the case may be, and encouraging them in some way to read between the lines, that we will be back before the court seeking a bail revocation as well as a dangerousness hearing. I would ask Your Honor to fashion some type of order that Your Honor believes would be effective in precluding this defendant from going online and encouraging his followers to essentially continue his pattern of intimidation.
What specifically are you asking me to order?
Judge,
You're asking me to write it.
I'm sorry?
What do you want me to say?
Well, that he should not encourage, intimidate directly or indirectly to have his supporters or encourage his supporters to.
That's what the district court said. You have to stay away and have no contact with the witnesses directly or indirectly.
Or I think perhaps language that prohibits him from encouraging others to do so. And Judge, it may come as far as not even mentioning the names of the victims that appear here. I certainly understand that there are First Amendment arguments that are being made. So we're extremely sensitive to that. We're extremely sensitive to the fact that the defendant claims to be a journalist covering the case involving Karen Reed.
Oh, I can't hear. Can't hear.
Oh, I'm not live.
Oh, there you
Welcome. It's me. I've had so many technical issues tonight, but we're live finally. Thank you, Rita. Thank you so much
Sure
for
thing.
being here tonight. We're opening up with Turtle Boy. It's kind of a celebration, but it's kind of a downer. What we're probably going to talk about with Rita right now. Lots of video we're going to play tonight. Doesn't matter if we screw up the beginning because this is going to be a long show. I have a feeling. We may not to get all to the video that I want because I'm having some issues, but some video we will be playing tonight. A little excited about what happened today in court and what's been happening even prior to that. And we're going to talk all about it tonight. But before that, let's get to Rita, because Rita, you had something that just happened that people are interested in. You got a
Yes.
thread online.
Yes. And Kathleen, if you can send her a link, she was going to get on too, if that's possible. But her and I just came from the police station. And because of the threat that was made to me on Twitter that said, Rita, somebody needs to teach me a lesson. And so I went to the police station, and Kathleen, great friend that she is, went with me, and I proceeded to file a report, and it was very disheartening, very disheartening. We went into the station, and I had called in advance to let them know that I was coming in, and I had asked for a senior person there because this wasn't my first threat that I had received, and I wanted to make sure that it escalated within the ranks of the police department. And I was told by the person that answered the phone that there was no senior person there, and that the person that I would speak to is the patrolman from my street. And so that was my only option. And so Kathleen and I went to the station, and we met that sergeant, and we went into the waiting room, and then the officer came in to take the report. He brought us into the interview room. Surprisingly to us, he did not turn on the interview equipment. And I know I was there another time with Kathleen reporting a threatening situation, and the officer did turn on the interview camera. And at the end of this interview, Kathleen asked him why he didn't turn it on, and he said he simply forgot, which is obviously protocol. And so when we're there, I have to say, he was disinterested. I mean, he really, I don't know if I woke him up from a nap, but we went into the interview room. He did not turn on the camera. He sat there, and he had a white pad that actually said the White House on it, which was kind of odd. And he took notes as we were speaking, and I was letting him know that, this wasn't the first threat that I had received, that four of us had received threats the beginning of October, and we reported them to the police. And then I also had Jim Farris at the select board meeting on Tuesday night, tried to get me tossed out of the room just because. And then he wanted to proceed to attack me during public comments, but because I had left, that kind of put a hole in his little balloon. And I saw that as a threatening situation. And then this online threat today. So, there's multiple escalations, and it's not just me, it's other people as well, Kathleen and others. And there was a lack of interest, really. And so I asked about escalation process. And I said, I know that when, somebody throws an egg at somebody, or when there's a potential forgery on a petition, that it escalates right up the chain. And where this was a threatening situation, and it wasn't the first time, could we speak to somebody higher? And we were not given that option. The sergeant who I had spoken to when I first went in there, the patrolman left the room, and the sergeant came back, and the sergeant said, this is who you can report this to. And if that doesn't work for you, you're welcome to leave. And really surprising to me, I've done customer service my whole life, overseeing organizations. And I got better service at a 7-Eleven. I mean, they just didn't care. And, it was very disheartening to us. And so then I asked to speak to the detective, and he said there was no one there. It was just pretty much the two of them. And I said, well, I know a detective usually works at night. Well, we don't have one tonight. And so, and then I asked, I'm sorry. Then I asked, I'm sorry. And then I asked if I could have a copy of the report that I had previously filed. And I was told that, we had to submit a written request. And so then he went and got me the form, which I sent you. I sent that to you just a little bit ago. It was a car accident report. I said, this is a car accident report. Well, we use the same one for everything. And I said, okay, is there an email address I can send this to? No, you have to walk it back in. You have to bring it back in. And I said, listen, this is an escalating situation here. And, I don't really feel safe. And, there was a protest here. He said he didn't know about the protest. He didn't know about the egg throwing. He didn't know much about anything. It's really, I'm just like blown away at the lack of urgency, the lack of care, the lack of protocol. It's just, it's just amazing. I mean, it just blows my mind. And, so that's what just happened. They just don't care. And I'm not going to let it stop there. We are going to take other steps. I did call the FBI, which I thought the FBI was a poor experience until I went to the Canton police station. So I called the FBI first. And I guess when you call the FBI, you call the main number. And somebody takes, the intake, and someone takes the information. So I'm trying to explain, it's not just this sentence, there's more to the story. And I think the person was a little overwhelmed with the story. And I tried to narrow it as much as I could. And then when I mentioned the other, and she had, you had to spell names. And I know that took a little bit of time spelling names. And it's also a little upsetting that you get a threat. And so I'm speaking to somebody who is, putting this information into the computer, which I appreciate. I really didn't have a problem with that. And then, but I think she was getting frustrated. The story was too confusing for her to follow. And then when I mentioned the letter that I got in October that the four of us received, and how I called the FBI on that, and they said it didn't meet the threshold for a threat because the writers of the letter know where to draw the line. She proceeded to say, yes, and that person was right. And she didn't even know what I was talking about, and said, this doesn't, and just hung up on me. Didn't even say goodbye. She just hung up on me. So, tonight, If I had to score the FBI in the Canton police station, I would move to another country. I mean, it was not impressive by any stretch of the imagination, and it concerns me greatly.
And we're talking about a threat that was sent to you. Just, it's funny because we're trying to update the show around this with the screen captures and all of this new content here to try to show. And this is one of the things that we did add to the drive tonight from Cowboy Fan 105 on Twitter, 105A.
Mm.
They write, Rita Lombardi needs to
Be taught a lot.
taught a lesson.
Right. It's the bullying tactics. It's the bullying. That's what we are dealing with. And, you know, this is what these people have been getting away with. Bully, 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 and hoping that you will stop talking. And I'm not going to stop talking. You know, this is wrong and it needs to change. And, you know, if something happens to me, people are going to know where to look. And, you know, and when I was in the police station, I said, is this the same lesson that John O'Keefe was taught? Is that the lesson I'm going to be taught? And are you going to wait and until I'm taught the lesson to take action? And he really was very disinterested, as was his supervisor. So I'm really disappointed in the Canton Police Department. I really thought they operated with a greater sense of urgency. The egg got more urgency. The forgery got more urgency than my personal safety and the safety of other people in this town that have spoken up and received various threats. And that's really, if you're not a McAlbert, you just don't matter. And that's the message that's coming through loud and clear. And that needs to change. So, you know, you wouldn't find that in business, and how we accept something like this in our policing, you know, is something else. If this is the way police departments operate, we have a problem. We have a problem. Everyone in business is trying to operate with the highest level of transparency, the highest level of service, the highest level of support, and this fell flat in both situations. And, you know, it made me think of people who said, you know, that shooter who killed all those people, somebody called the FBI, you know, somebody called the police station, but oops, they didn't get it. And, you know, it doesn't make me feel good as a citizen of this country that this is the response that I got. An FBI person hung up on me. And the Canton Police Department had no interest and no concern whatsoever, the two people I spoke to. Now, I don't want to paint the whole Canton Police Department, but this was the face of the Canton Police Department. And when you walk in, there's nothing welcoming. You know, I'm used to, you know, I'm a welcoming person. And when you're welcoming in life, people welcome you back. And you know, there's nothing welcoming about walking into that police station. And maybe that's just the way police stations are, but there was no feeling whatsoever that they cared about me, which I'm sure they don't because I speak out, but I'm a citizen. I pay their salary. You know, it's taxpayers. We pay their salary. And if they don't care about the taxpayers that pay their salary, then maybe they're in the wrong profession.
Yeah. And the thing is, that drives me crazy on this whole thing, just reading this tonight and just knowing what you've all been through, is it's over and over again. Like Tara Schumann, Trisha. I mean, I could go on. These are all women. You're one of them, Rita.
Yes.
Men are bullying women.
Yes.
And we're just not saying anything and we're letting it go. It's like, enough of the fucking bullying.
Right. And women,
like, do I have to show up and throw some people down? Like, seriously, like,
right.
I'm done with this shit. Like, I'll guess I'm going to get a charge because, you know, if anything happens to you, Rita, I'm coming for them. Like,
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, like, and men have to start showing up at the
Yes.
select board meetings. It's ridiculous. We're going to talk about it tonight. This guy, Paul, puts up this, ridiculous editorial with he puts in the big words. He's a clown, and he puts out this editorial talking
Oh,
about
yes,
bullying,
yes,
the
yes.
bullying of the McAlberts. And it's like, he's not talking about the bullying that the McAlberts are doing to women. He's
Right.
talking about how bullied they are. And
Right.
they don't say shit when you're visibly being bullied. And this comment came in today. I had blocked this guy on Twitter, like I do a lot of these clowns with no followers. But then I looked at their Twitter feed and it just kind of stuck up to me who it might be. And I would like our audience to take a look at his Twitter feed. And I know it's a guy, it's always a guy. I want us to try to figure out who do you think this is? I want the Olivia Niles in the world, everybody. I immediately suspected someone right away. I'm not going to say the name. I want to see what other people think. Cowboy fan 105A. Who is that punk?
One thing I noticed too with the threatening letters, there were multiple authors. Now I know this is one sentence and it's even missing a word. They can't even write right. But you know, in the threatening letters, it was multiple people. I don't know this. I'm not on Twitter. This is why I won't go on Twitter. And people alerted me to this. And you know, just fake accounts. People have the guts. If you want to tell me I need to be taught a lesson, show me your face. Come to me,
Yeah.
baby. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't be a coward. Don't hide behind a fake ID. You know, if you really think I need to be taught a lesson, talk to me. Tell me what the lesson is. And the picture was just me looking at that deranged guy outside of the court today.
Yeah, people are naming everyone. Everyone that
Precisely. Yeah.
they're naming all kinds of people right
I
now.
mean,
They're naming them, but none of the ones I think though. It's the usual suspects, but I think it's someone that we all know. This is my opinion. I'm not going to say his name yet. That we all know. We all don't like him, but none of you have named him yet in the chat. So read him. Read what he's saying.
yes.
And I love what you said. It could be multiple people because I believe that some of
Oh,
these
yeah,
troll accounts are multiple people, just
that's right.
like they did with the letters.
They feed off each other.
Yeah.
They feed off each other.
And I'm getting it now too. Like they're calling me, I'm talking to someone that there's been lawsuits not related to any of this stuff with some of these people. And I was talking to one of the people that is suing, not related to any of this stuff, but they're one of the people that harasses me now. And they're coming, they said some stuff this week about me that definitely I could get a judgment against them, but I don't think I'm going to sue them. But I mean, I've never been pushed that far. Like there's a few people that they get at you so much. It's like, what are you going to do? Like,
Right.
I mean, if they totally lie, they say the worst things about you that they could say about you that aren't true.
Right.
I don't know. What do you do?
Right. I know. It's like, and that's why.
Especially if they have money too. Like that's the thing. Like this person actually has money, like not themselves, but their spouse.
I see.
So it's like for me, I was contemplating like this could be a public service lawsuit, like because this person is doing this to other people where it matters. It's not affecting me. It's not going to affect me what I do, but
Yeah.
I know the way that they do this, that it does affect people. So I just, I'm not someone who likes to sue. I've never sued
Me
anybody.
neither. Me neither. And I, I mean, that's why I don't go on Twitter. It's like I can't, I can't deal with that and the hatred that people spew and the fake accounts and how they go after people and
They're making videos about us now. I mean, this is like
really?
next level trolling. Like not even like the troll mafia one that everyone knows. These are
Yeah.
like anonymous accounts making it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know, and it's on the same subject, but I read Prince Harry's book. I listened to the audio and Meghan was trolled. She was trolled by the same small group of people that had all of these accounts that were going after her. And I think it's the same thing here. You have people that have very limited skills and all they know is how to troll and create fake accounts and they somehow thrive off of that. And that's a sickness. I mean, it's just people are not well if that's what they have to do.
I did invite Kathleen. Next time I thought that you were gonna bring her on. Like that's
I
because I
know
know it was
that's
last minute. And if I send you a link, that's, you can copy that link and send it to her next time. Like,
Okay, I wasn't
the
sure.
same link, same link.
Okay,
So, I did send it to her like 5-10 minutes ago, but I
okay.
haven't seen her pop up. Anything else you want to say about this? Because we have a lot more material I want to get to
No,
tonight as
this is
well.
all,
And
I just, it's disappointing and we're not gonna stop. We're going to let people know that this is happening. And, the more they do, the more we're gonna let people know. So it's not gonna stop us. So if you wanna look better, stop.
yeah, because we're gonna put it right on the screen.
Gotta
This is
put it
what we
right
want people to know. Like,
right.
this is what is being sent. And let's talk before, because we do have John in the waiting in the green
Sure.
room. I want to bring him up in a second. But before we get there, I want to, like, this is scary to you. I know Kathleen was talking about this too. Like, she thinks this is a legitimate threat and that they could actually come after you physically. Like, this is what they do. They give you warnings and then they come after you, like,
Yeah, I
physically.
do. I don't take this lightly.
Yeah. I mean, you
It's not
lose
gonna
sleep
change
over
my
this.
behavior.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll look over my shoulder, I'll put up more security cameras. But I'm going to continue to do what I do because it's the right thing to do. And, you know, I just, I'm not going to be bullied. I'm not going to be bullied.
It sucks that you have to go down to a police station tonight, the Friday night before Christmas. This is what you're
I know.
doing after such a good day with everything that happened
Yeah.
today and the last couple weeks.
Yeah. Oh, today was fabulous. And then you go into there's no compassion whatsoever. No,
Yeah.
nothing, no service, no nothing. So,
Unbelievable.
yeah, but today was a great day. It absolutely was a great day.
It was. We're going to talk about that. We're going to play lots of video tonight, hopefully. I got this weird thing on my Facebook that I forget what we're using actually. I think it's Chrome. On Chrome, I never use it. And then when I try to sign into Facebook, it only let me log into the Facebook account I never ever use. And so I can't get all the videos I want out of it. It's driving me crazy right now. Or even like I have to go back to the other browser that I'm logged in on my Facebook account. It's so weird. I hate that shit. It drives
Yeah.
me nuts, the technology. All of a
Oh,
sudden, it
no.
always worked, and now it doesn't work. So it's just driving me nuts. But I think we'll deal with it because we still got plenty of good video. I also wanted to, well, let's bring up John now. Let's bring up John because, and I definitely want to talk about like all the good shit that's been happening because there's been a lot of good stuff happening recently on this whole Karen Reed and Aiden, especially. But let's bring up John. John, brother, what's going
Hey,
on? What do
Hey,
you think about
everybody. Hi,
everything?
Rita.
hey, John.
I'm really sorry that happened to you. I was so excited to be on tonight, and then I heard about this, and I'm a little deflated. So I apologize to everyone watching if I'm
Me
little.
too. I'm glad you said that because I was so amped up for the show tonight, and then this stuff happened, and just like, oh man.
But you know what? If we let them suck it from us, then they win. So I put it all back inside
Mhm.
and here's my energy. I'm not letting them do that to me. I'm not letting them have that power.
Well, I think this deserves a conversation with the chief and taking no for an answer because this is ridiculous.
It is. It's sad. I mean,
She
it's
said
sad.
she's willing to meet with anybody, and you picked the place. That was her words exactly.
Right. That's true. That's true. That's true. So
And I can't think of a better reason than this.
exactly. I know. I know. So, she sounded a little shaky at the select board meeting the other night. So I don't know what's going on with her.
Well, that's a whole other topic.
She did, didn't she? She sounded
She
nervous.
did. She was very shaky. Very shaky. I mean, it might have been that she was asking for, $240,000 for a fence and a kitchen,
Right.
which was only $40,000 more than the audit that we didn't need. But, I don't know if that was it.
She
But
could also have been sick. A lot of flus and COVID going around.
yeah, no, that was shaky.
Yeah. Yeah, it was shaky.
Anxiety.
Yeah. Didn't feel right, definitely.
No, it didn't.
It was a different posture than the infamous binder.
Yeah, and I think it's
Yes,
also
it
again,
was.
yeah, I think it also has to do with like the wins. Like I think everything's been turning since the special town meeting. Like since that win, it's
That's huge.
gone. It's just been one way. I think that's what it is too with her. I mean, that was just, they
I
did
think
not want that audit.
no, they did not want the audit. Um, they did not want the audit. And I heard that people have the audit of the evidence room because they had said that that was done. And the audit of the evidence room, and I haven't seen it. So, but someone who has seen it told me that, for the cash, it says, okay, we got these manila envelopes for the cash when cash should be in plastic envelopes. And with the manila envelopes, okay, there's X amount of manila envelopes. Okay, they're all labeled. So we have the evidence. Well, how do you know if you have the evidence if you don't go in the envelopes? So, those are one of the things that we're looking for in audits. You can't just count envelopes and say, okay, we have accounted for all these envelopes. You need to account for what is supposed to be inside those envelopes, which is money.
Exactly. We'll see what happens on that. I'm looking forward to it.
Mike, two housekeeping items. One, Kathleen is in the chat and she's asking for the link. And two,
How can she be in the chat and be in the link? She's in this. Oh, I see what you're saying. The main chat. I thought you meant our private chat and over here.
I can send
I
it to
sent her the link on Facebook. I'm having Facebook issues, so maybe you should try to send it to her.
See if I can send this to her.
Yeah, either one of you can send her the same link. Just copy and paste it.
I just sent it to her.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I want to talk about the big news of the day. If I can get it back on the screen. There we go. This was huge today.
Huge.
Yeah. It was just amazing. Look at that crowd. Look at the attorney too. Look at Bradle. I haven't seen Bradle smile yet.
Oh,
He was smiling today.
He was.
This was amazing. I mean, we're gonna play. Hopefully, I gotta get that Turtle Boy. Where is the turtle? It's on Facebook, isn't it? The Turtle Boy. After when he's driving, he's talking about.
Oh yes. Yeah.
I gotta get that up somehow. If I can't get it,
I saw most of that.
Yeah, I just want to play that again because you can tell. But the thing, I mean, I'm watching the media ask them questions and ask Bradle didn't want to badmouth Mello, but the question from the media guy was like, "Did you think Mello looked?" I don't know. What did he say? It was a negative word. It was not confused. What was it? Troubled? No. Here it is. Struggled. He said, "Did you think the special prosecutor struggled today?" That was the question to Bradle from the press. And when that happened, I was just like, "Wow!" Even they saw it.
Oh, it was.
Bradle's class act for having done that. I really applaud him for not, that was severe low-lying fruit. He could have taken it and taken a real bite out of
the high road. He didn't need to say it. The press already said it.
Right.
So, and it's so funny, just even on our show, when he came on the show, one of the questions I was asking about, what would happen in Superior Court? Would it be different? And we basically gave it away, in a way, that this could go in Aiden's favor, that this would be actually bad.
Yes.
They should have just stayed in district court and just, but instead they went to Superior where you get more rights. You get more of a hearing. You get more. And this guy, Mello, you could tell today, the judge was just calling his ass out. He was just like, "You want me to do what now? By what statute?" He's never answered him on the statute.
Right. I don't even think he knows what a statute is.
Yeah.
For him to be the special prosecutor and for the judge to say, well, that's law in district court, but that's not the way the law works in Superior Court. If I was a special prosecutor, I would be a little embarrassed that I didn't know that. And here I am with this big case that I threw extra charges in against Aiden Carney. And I go in front of the judge and I'm unprepared. And you can't tell me, and I think he was setting it up in the beginning. They asked for today's date and it was supposed to be next week. The holiday weekend was really going to help him be better prepared. filed the additional charges, got the indictment, and then he wasn't prepared to present to the judge. And well, I don't know, Judge, what do you think? Like, can you do my job for me?
Yeah,
Because
it's basically what he said. Can you come up with an order? Like I've seen so many court cases. Even I know I'm not an attorney. I didn't take any law classes, but you tell me what order you want. You don't say, Judge, can you come up with an order for me? Like it was just like, oh my God, are you
attorney
kidding me?
goes and argues his case and says, here's the case law that I want you to apply. It doesn't say, Judge, can you go figure this out for me?
Yeah.
The
How
judge
can we?
ain't say,
Hey, Judge, you're in on this. How do we just shut this guy down? Just
Right.
you're in on it. And the judge today was like, no, I'm not in on it. Like, and it's funny because what Aiden said today, he thought that Judge Krupp didn't want to get overruled by the SJC, which it seems that like very true. Like, especially if you don't have it backed up by all this stuff that he was asking for. And I also wonder about the federal part. Like, I wonder if the judge has seen the Boston 25 or has called. This guy is very experienced, this Krupp guy.
oh, yeah.
I was kind of pissed at him the first time, but today, he's a very serious, smart guy, individual. And he's represented all kinds of cases like Whitey Bulger.
Yeah.
Again, we always bring his name up. But so he knows people. I just wonder if he's also gotten a hint about the federal stuff too. It just seemed like he was much more on his game today, and Mello was not. Mello was totally overmatched, and Bradel, like, I think that Krupp now likes Bradel. It seemed like that too. Like Bradel was just solid. He knows his shit. He's nice. He's not going to pull any bullshit.
He's
And
competent.
he's like, yeah, he's competent. He's like, and you get what you pay for too. I love that.
Absolutely.
Aiden said that today, I think.
And Kathleen.
Yeah, let's bring up Kathleen.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Kathleen.
Thanks, John, for sending me the link.
Oh, you're well. I'm good. I'm glad it worked.
Yes.
And so we have Kathleen Howley. I'm sure you probably wanted to say something tonight too about what happened with Rita and the threat that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, so this is a real serious problem in Canton. And what do you call it when people threaten people and it turns out they just threaten women? Like, what does that say about them? When you threaten people because you don't like what they're saying and you have a political agenda, so that threat of violence to get your way politically is something we have seen before in history. And we are seeing around the country now more and more, but right here in Canton, we are seeing that. And it's really disturbing. And as you may recall from your high school history class, the particular specific name for that is fascism, where you get what you want politically by threatening people and by threats of violence. And what we're seeing is this escalating. So, I was one of the women who got the threatening letters on October 4 that were talked a lot about, how people were donating to Chris Albert's campaign and were offering help and were like it sounded like some, like campaign talk. And I've been to that station now a couple of times, twice for myself and a couple of other times for other women who have been threatened. And they don't take it seriously at all. Not at all. It does. And we pay over $6 million a year for our police department. When Morrissey said, oh, we're going to find out it's not well funded. Really? Like, we fund whatever our police department wants pretty much when they come to town meeting. So it's very well funded. That more than $6 million does not include, the capital expenditures like the new cruisers and some of the things that she asked for at the recent town meeting. Those are kind of set aside. I'm talking about the operating budget, over $6 million. And we don't need them that often, but we need them now. And we're not happy. We're not getting any bang for our buck. But if we had different last names, we know how it works in Canton, that we would get very, very, very attentive service from them.
Well, look how quickly they got to Washington Street for the Canton 9.
Exactly.
Bingo.
Yes.
And how many of them showed up?
not through, you know, a back channeled phone call too.
Well, there's something in Canton called self-dispatching, and I never heard about it before I moved to Canton. But if you're a very special person, and we have kind of a reverse meritocracy in Canton, so the more you hang around a particular bar, the more important you are. It's not like, oh, that person cured cancer, and that person is, you know, has a, you know, some big, you know, degree. It's kind of the more you hang around the waterfall, the apparently in many people's mind, the more important you are. And then you have the special numbers that you call, and this cruiser self-dispatch. I think
That
that's a
sounds like a
liability.
racket. That sounds like a racket.
I think it's a
That's
liability for the
crazy.
town. It
Yeah.
all needs to go through dispatch. Do our insurance providers know that we're self-dispatching here? So we weren't happy with, yeah, I mean, like I said, several times in the last few months, I've been in with for either myself or for another woman, and only one time did they ever record it. And it was a guy that we had last time. Rita came in with me. Last time it was about me, and Rita came in with me. And this lovely, like, I wish that they could fill up that building with officers like this guy we got last time. And we went into the small room and we sat down, and he said, "Oh, excuse me, standard procedure." He stood up and he reached over and he flicked on the recording devices. And Rita and I looked at each other like we're almost, it's not funny. None of this is funny, right? It's really not, but you have to find, I guess, moments of humor. But the beginning of the recording is just me saying, "Oh, we support standard procedure. We love standard procedure," which is a really funny thing to love. But in Canton, you gotta, you know, like that was great that officer did that. And so I asked this officer this time at the end, I said, "I noticed you didn't turn on the equipment." And he said, "Oh, I forgot." And I said to Rita later, "But if you never do it, is it really forgetting, or is it just that you don't do it?"
Bingo.
Yeah, what's the well, this is like the police and the chief will say, well, we have procedures and the procedures are audited. Well, the audit says, the procedure says you turn it on. So see, we pass, but no, you don't.
Right.
No, you
And
don't. Simple
that was a
task like that. No, you don't.
Exactly. And Rita just brought up a super critical point that, you know, we're accredited. We're very proud that we're accredited. But what people don't realize is that accreditation, I mean, this is jaw-dropping. Towns all towns and cities all across Massachusetts. Just Google Massachusetts Police Accreditation Commission and then self-assessment phase. And you will find that what they audit and review your policies and procedures. But when it comes to your compliance to them, that's the self-assessment phase. And it's really the most difficult part because you have to decide what grade you're going to give yourself. And it really is so difficult.
I'm entertaining my little puppy right now. He's making little noises. You probably can't hear him.
What kind of puppy do you have?
We think it's a Pekingese, but we're not sure. He's a rescue.
Pekingese are nice.
Did he bite?
My Pekingese?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Oz has been a biter. He hasn't been in a while. We were working on him a long time. He was a foster failure. Like basically we took him in for a rescue to foster him, and we knew right away that he was not adoptable. We've been through this rodeo too many times. So the choice was either put him down or you know, find someone highly experienced that knows how to handle a dog like him. And that's us. So we had to keep him.
Oh, that's really nice, Mike.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
nice.
He's the best. We love him.
Oh, good.
Yeah. He's doing good. But he wants attention right now, which is
Yeah,
good.
we'll bring him up, put him up.
I tried. He's very stubborn. He wants me to come to. I go down on the floor to play a lot. He wants me down on the floor with him. He doesn't want to come up right now. It's on his. It's always on his. You know.
Yeah.
He's a little stubborn boy. So, but let's get back to the show tonight. Kathleen, you were there tonight. We went down to the police station as well. What
Yes.
did you think about the whole experience? It sounds like it wasn't too good.
No, I didn't feel like I got my money's worth as a taxpayer. But you know, if you ever want to know what it feels like to be a second-class citizen, and you know, I mean, you know, I'm a white person who's from the middle class, and I have, you know, so therefore have had a life of some privilege. I had to put myself through college, but still, you know, I've had a life of privilege. But then you move to Canton, and you find out that if you're not a certain type of townie, you know, and if you don't hang around the town club, your life is not worth as much. You're not as important. And it wouldn't matter if you cured cancer, because that's not what they're going by. So it's a little distressing. And I will tell you, interesting, as I moved to Canton in 2006, and I have never been, I happen to be gay, and I have never been called a dyke more often than since I moved to Canton. And I had an experience in 2013 of where somebody had threatened to shoot me because I was a dyke, and dykes shouldn't be allowed to be in America. And I went to the police station, and I walked in, and I said to the police officer, I need to file a report. And he, I told him what happened, and he looked at me, and there was this long pause, and he said, no. And I said, what do you mean, no? I need to file a police report. And he said, no. The guy called me. He told me what happened. He told me he dropped the F-bomb, and he's sorry. And I said, so you think I'm here because somebody swore? That's why you think I'm here? And so this is like, a lot of us had pieces of the puzzle before what happened to John, and we just hadn't put it together. So, and then, what happened in 2018 with Craig Casey, a body on the lawn was missed. And we are representing our police department was someone quoted in all 4 news stories about this saying, well, we really wish we had found him an hour earlier, but it wouldn't have made much of a difference. For a severely injured man to get medical attention an hour earlier would not have made a difference. It's Sandra Birchmore, and the questions that we have about that investigation that has many people concerned. So we had all these puzzles, but we hadn't put it together. I sometimes wonder if we had been able to put it together like 2 years ago, there would be people alive today. There would be a person alive today, perhaps, because somebody would have called 911. They would not have assumed that they were going to get away with what they're trying to get away with.
He's really acting up. I don't know if you can see him. I got him. I had him. Yeah, there he is.
Oh, look at him.
Yeah. He's like trying to get up, and then he doesn't want to get up, and then it's like, oh boy. He wants me off the show. That's what it is. He's jealous. You jealous of all the people, honey? Oh, kiss me.
Yeah.
All right. This is tough stuff. I mean, not looking at threats. And so this was at Canton too, Canton Police Department, obviously, that did that to you earlier. What do you expect now to happen? Do you think you'll hear anything back, Rita, from the Canton Police Department on it?
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
So I have to fill out this automobile accident report to it's just a 1-page form for auto accidents to get the incident report. Apparently that's all we have, and that was revised on 11/28/2023, that form, and I have to drop it off. And I'm not going to bother really, because I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I'm not going to waste my time. I mean, I already saw tonight the response, so I don't expect anything different. I will just find other ways to escalate and get it addressed. We're not walking away. Kathleen and I are not walking away from this. We're going to find other ways to address it that maybe will be more effective than the route that we're taking and the route that we're being offered.
Because, I think it's important for people to know this, that, we're real Americans, where when you try to silence us, we speak louder. It's just, that's, I had a dad who fought in the South Pacific through some of the worst battles in the South Pacific, through Okinawa and some horrible, horrible battles. And he didn't do that so his daughter, would grow up and live in Canton and have people tell me that I couldn't use my First Amendment rights. Like, that's not why those men fought and died, and many of them died. So this is what I think of now when they try to silence us. We're real Americans. We speak louder. So keep silencing us, keep trying, and we're going to get louder and louder, because it is a constitutional issue. It is our way of life. And we can't concede Canton to have we're going to have a little bit of Russia inside of Massachusetts. And I know the people, the men and women who serve in the military suffer far worse than this, but I do feel like this is defending our way of life, our American way of life, and our Constitution.
Absolutely.
That's Paul McAuliffe, where
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about
thing
this.
about-
This
is it?
guy,
Oh, we're giving people eating disorders, I guess.
yeah, this guy who was a bully. I've seen him in action. He's a bully.
Mhm.
He
Yeah.
he didn't have much to say to Aiden. He was kind of scared and curt with Aiden, but to the women that were standing there, he had a lot to say.
Yeah.
He's that kind of guy. He's a correction officer, so I think he's a bully. I wouldn't doubt if he's a bully on the job. So this bully writes this story saying modern day bullies are disrupting our community, and then basically cries that the people who are the bullies to the women are getting bullied. I read this whole thing. Some of the words he used, like he picked big words, so people would actually have to look up words. He's like one of those. Like if you're actually a good writer, you write common. You don't like try to write up. That's like ridiculous, and that's the type of person he is. What do you all want to say about this modern day bullies are disrupting our community op-ed that this Paul guy submitted?
I thought it was sanctimonious, just the word for it. This moral high ground that he has been taking, and he's done it previously. And I have seen him make attempts to try to bridge the gap, and I even gave him credit because I said, well, I publicly in one of the forums, I said, well, that's great that you're trying to bridge the divide. And so it's like, on one hand, you're preaching peace, and then with the other hand, you're throwing a grenade out. So it just, I
does
don't know.
that over and over and over again. I love that you said that, because there is an element to him where he's like, but it's exactly, that's
I don't want to
exactly it.
disparage him publicly too, but I will just say, just based on this article, I found it sanctimonious, considering like Jim Ferris's behavior this week, considering what Rita just went through tonight. What does he have to say about that?
Exactly.
No,
And they're silent. They're silent. Like Kevin from Yellow Cottage Trail, who said he got threatened. He had to go to the state police, he said. We haven't seen the threat. He didn't post it online. No one knows what it is. Rita gets threatened. We post it online. We let everyone see exactly what it is so that people know what the facts of it is. And they never say anything. They're always, it's crazy to me. There are a bunch of men don't say anything.
Can I just mention briefly what happened Tuesday night? Because I was sitting next to Jim Ferris, and to his right, and Rita was a few seats down to the left. And he kept looking over at Rita, and he was pulsating anger, and he wasn't doing anything. And just pulsating anger. She has some questions about the dog park.
Was he that upset over the dog park?
I think some of these guys think that women should just shut the hell up, is what I think some of them believe. And so anyways, everyone else was looking at the front of the room. He keeps turning to look at Rita. And I mean, it was noticeable. And then there was a ding on Rita's phone, a soft ding, like a message ding. It wasn't. I had silenced my phone, but an alarm went off, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." I'm shutting things off. But he didn't notice. I don't think he recognized me. But that ding that very soft ding on Rita's phone, he jumped up, and he yelled at the chair, Tom Theodore, that he had to throw Rita out of the meeting. And it was like scary. It was crazy, and it was unhinged. And that, combined with what happened today, it's escalating, and it's serious, and people have to take it seriously and do something. Like, write to the governor, or I would say, anybody listening, I don't know what the thing to do is, but I know the thing is to do something, whatever small thing you can do. And not everybody can speak out in Canton. And people say that to me a lot. Like, thank you for speaking out. I can't because of blah, blah, fill in the blank. Okay. I know, I live here. I understand how things are. And since, you speak out, you get threatened. I might as well keep speaking out, because it's already happening. But maybe they could write to the governor. Maybe they could write to the AG. Maybe, whatever someone can think of to do, I would ask to please do, because Canton needs help.
Canton needs help big time. We need help big time. And that's one thing Sean said the other night. We asked for crisis management last August.
Exactly.
darkest. And these people, Paul and whatever, and they're referring to us as bullies, and they're upset that we got the audit through. And we are where we are because of inaction by the select board and deliberate inaction by the select. Even now, they don't listen to us. They put the timer up, and boom, as soon as it goes off, that's it. I mean, I will say, JR was, I think it was, he didn't shut it down from Trish when she was talking, whatever happened, but he's always respectful. But they just, I don't know. They just don't care.
Can I just say a word about Sean Colburn? He was amazing.
Oh, yes.
It was so gratifying to see someone stand up and say, women are being threatened in Canton and you are doing nothing.
Boom.
And it was a mic drop. It was an amazing, I was just in awe and so grateful.
We need more of that. More men need to
Yeah.
be like Sean Colburn and show up at these select board meetings. Like that was amazing. I actually, he was one of the first people I contacted for the show tonight. He's busy. He couldn't be here, but that was really well done.
Yeah.
And he made the analogy. I don't know if people got it, but he made the analogy in October. A couple families wanted to close down a portion of their street to have a Halloween party to make
Yes, yes.
kids, and they brought their kids in and they put a compelling story forward. And then you had the select board up there showing what looked like a little bit of empathy. Gee, we can't do it. We'd love to do it, but let the women get the threatening letters and next,
No empathy
whatsoever.
Yeah. The problem is, I mean, let's be frank, when we got those threatening letters, we feel that we know the people who wrote them were at least associated with Chris Albert. If not, I don't know if he took part in them, but when he then went to court, remember when he went to court and raised his right hand and was trying to get a harassment order against Aiden and was not granted it because the guy said, yeah, but he's not harassing you, so I can't do that. So he used some of the same language that was used in the letter, and it was kind of amazing. And we don't know, but we know that
that's
they
the
are.
thing. Language always gives these people away. That's why I suspect somebody. The threat to Rita, the threat we put up, I already have a suspect in mind based on language.
Yep.
And I think everyone should ask Kevin from Yellow Cottage Tales what he thinks about the threat. And I think they should ask him, a lot of the wording sounds like Kevin. Like, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying it's Kevin. Maybe it's one of his fans. He has a couple, but it sounds like him, man. Like, I want to know what Kevin thinks about it. Kevin has said he's been threatened. What does he think about this Rita threat? Like, I want to know. People should ask Kevin from Yellow Cottage Tales.
And you went to the state police. Does he recommend the state police? Would we get
maybe that's a good idea. Maybe he can help you out. I would like to see the threat stop on all sides. Like, if he's getting threatened, that's not right either.
Yeah, but
he hasn't posted the threat. We don't know. Where is it? Where is it? That's a problem with Kevin. He says stuff and then he doesn't actually back it up. That's the difference between Aiden and him. Aiden actually has documentation for what he says.
At the beginning of the year, where women who were holding signs for the other candidate. And by the way, supposedly all of this is because people are unhappy that the woman candidate didn't win. No one says anything about JR. He also won. Do you ever hear anyone say one word about him? It's the problems of the tax liens and the lying, about not telling us he'd been to jail and all of those problems. And they act like, we just wanted the woman to win. You mean the one with the Yale Law School degree and you, Chris Albert, have a high school degree? Even if the genders were switched, I would have voted for the Yale Law School degree. But this started with women holding signs for this other candidate being threatened. And in a way, I witnessed it one time and I had never heard the name Chris Albert before. And I said, who are they? And I went home and looked him up and saw, geez, over a dozen tax liens, over a dozen lawsuits, capious warrants because he doesn't show up for when the judge, when he's summoned to Stoughton District Court, yeah, and until he went for his harassment order. I mean, those are arrest warrants, and he has a family full of, and there were 7 of them issued. The last one expired in 2019, and so those kind of threats and thuggishness by these very, very privileged people, that started when he got in the race. And I would I would just urge people. Rachel Maddow has come out with this great new book, prequel, An American Fight Against Fascism. But she talks about how before the first soldier went overseas in World War II, it was being fought in the small towns of America. And that is happening again. We won before, we'll win this time. But it does take people standing up and doing whatever they can do.
Now, there was another letter written that was posted to the same newspaper called Debunking the Liberal Conspiracy Narrative. It was so well written.
Yes.
It's amazing the difference in the writing styles. It was just to the point, and I didn't find it condescending at all. What do you all think about that article that Trish,
I
the
love
op-ed
it
she did?
because this is how the discourse should be. You said A, B, and C. Okay, I'm going to reply to A. Here's what I think. I respect that you think B. However, this is how I think. You said C. This is how I think. No trading barbs, no vitriol, just a discussion of this is what
Facts.
you think is fact. This is what I think is fact. That's how this should have been the entire time. And the one thing maybe I will give Paul credit for is he even recognizes it's getting out of control, although his view is distorted. But
I'd have more credence in him if he saw the other side of it, so.
Right. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
There are people in Canton who crave a pat on the head from these guys. I don't know why. I have no idea why they would want that. But they will just do anything to get attaboy out of people who I don't get why that's valuable to get the approval of people who really are not people who you would hold up as having led a good life and having accomplished things, or but they want a pat on the head. I mean, I think Jim Farris left the room to go get his pat on the head after yelling at Sean and Rita. I just don't get it. I really don't.
And when somebody with opposing views stands up at the select board meeting, they don't have to give their name and address. They're not, if we stand up and we forget to say our name and address, we're reminded.
Yep.
Double standard.
Yep. There is.
Jim Farris, what I watched back, he didn't give his name. He just got up there and started spouting.
Same thing happened at special town meeting where several people who, hang out at the county club, don't have to do that. But, oh, boy, we better do it. So, I mean, these are not people, the select board are not people who have ever worked in a professional office where you learn, no, you have to treat everybody the same way. You can think whatever you want. You can have your opinions, but you have to treat people the same way. If only to, protect the town from lawsuits,
Exactly.
And they don't. They're like, oh, I like you, so I'm going to smile and, oh, yeah. Oh, no, you, I'm going to, kind of scowl and look away while just act the same toward everybody, whatever you think. And that's the professional way to be. But they don't know that.
No.
The art of the poker face.
Yeah. They haven't achieved that. I think because a lot of us started speaking out because, we were moms and we're concerned about the town that our kids are growing up in. And I have so often when I've been speaking wanted to stop to say, I'm speaking to you. Could you look at me, please? When someone is addressing you, it is polite to look at them like as if they're middle school boys, which would be age appropriate in middle school. It would be fine. But I would still say that. But now these are grown men. And it's gotten maybe a little better. And it's not, I mean, some it's worse than others, but they just don't know how to act. I just don't think that they're very, very educated. And I don't think they've had professional jobs.
Not
they
worldly. Yeah, they're not very worldly. It's true.
No, yeah.
They don't
Like-
represent the demographic of Canton.
Stirring a drink. That's all I'm focused on. I'm focused on the stir, the straw, the straw.
Yeah.
All right. I definitely want to talk about what happened today too, because I mean we've had a lot of good things happening recently in this Karen Reed and the Canton 9. I mean, just earlier this week, we found out that the young man Tim am I saying the name right? Yeah, the 17-year-old, he got it swept. The charges were basically swept out of court, and he's all set now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And today in court, this Mello guy just basically like self-destructed, and it's weird because I'm still worried. We're gonna play some of the video, a lot of the video tonight, but like I'm still worried that is the district court case completely gone? Did they move everything to Superior Court so the district doesn't have any? Is that what happened here?
Yes.
I want to
Yes.
make sure that I'm sure Aiden's attorney knows that, but it seems like there's no restrictions again on Aiden. He's totally like free right now to kind of do what he wants as long as he doesn't commit any crimes.
Right. And of course, everybody's free unless they commit crimes.
Right.
Or
And,
corrupts.
and of course they've made up crimes against him, but
Exactly.
but this was a huge win for him today, and I don't think any of us saw it coming in a way. And it's like Christmas came early for him,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of the press, even though it's some of the headlines make it look really bad for him, but I think the press people really know at this point
Yeah.
that the state is effed on this, that this is crazy. There's a lot wrong here. I mean, what did you all think about this today?
Well, I'm happy the weight has been lifted a little bit off his shoulders, but there is still the looming threat of this witness intimidation out there. So if he does decide to ask a question, are they going to turn around and report it? And then it goes to Mello, and then it devolves again. So I'm happy that he can be in the vicinity now and not fear getting arrested, and he doesn't need his tape measure anymore. But the looming threat, the charges are still there. The looming threat of someone weaponizing that statute is still there. So I'm still a little concerned about that.
Definitely, but it felt good today. Go ahead, Rita.
I've been to the Superior Court twice that Aiden's been there. And I got to tell you, the first time I was there, I was not impressed with Mello. He was not on his game. If he has a game, he did not impress me. And I thought that he was looking for the judge to do his job then. And the judge kept going back to him saying, and I forget what it was, but the judge kept going back to him. Well, you need to give me this, like pulling his teeth. You need to give me this. And so he scrambled and, did whatever. And today it was worse than the last time. Usually you would think he would get better. And I thought he presented even more poorly than he did the first time.
Well, the first time he got a do-over. Do-over. And no do-overs today.
No do-overs. And that judge, I think, had enough of his lack of competency.
I was just checking I couldn't find it. But anyways, the last time I checked his website, there were spelling errors on it. Like simple.
Really?
Like court misspelled, things like that.
And the way he said defend, I can't even do it. Defendant. We got to play some of the video from this guy. Right at the meltdown, we turned it off, so we should probably start playing it. But he couldn't even pronounce like basic words. It was kind of weird today.
Look at the girl looking at him.
Yeah. Do you want to? So we've kept you all along. It's 9:15 now. We've been over an hour and 15. We got late start because of technical issues. But do you all want to stay, or some of you have to go now? Because we're gonna play some videos and have fun. Like, can you stick around?
I'll stay.
Yeah,
I'll stick around a little longer. Yeah.
Cool.
I am going to. I'm going to hop, but I do encourage people to come to the select board meeting on the 9th. It's a week from Tuesday. And to write to the governor and do anything about what's going on in Canton. you know, whatever small thing you can do, I would encourage you to do. And I understand that people can't, you know, do everything, but there's probably something small that people could do to speak out for the Constitution, for democracy, for our American way of life. You know, like so many in our family did before us. You know, it's worth fighting for. So thank you,
Absolutely.
everybody.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Kathleen. Have a great weekend. A good Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Same to you all.
Happy
Bye-bye.
Hanukkah or whatever you celebrate, whatever
Christmas.
everyone celebrates. Christmas. Merry
Bye,
Christmas.
everybody.
Merry
I
Christmas.
know. I try to celebrate it all, whatever it is.
Exactly.
If they invite me, I'm celebrating it. Yeah, let's play some more of this video tonight. This is when he starts melting down. The judges ask him to do his work.
We're aware of all of those things. However, the lines blur, the lines cross, and he is hiding behind the guise of a journalist, encouraging basically as an activist. And when he's doing so, that's what we're going to ask Your Honor to preclude him from doing, and perhaps preclude him from mentioning the names of these particular witnesses in a context that would encourage others to approach them or communicate with them. I know it's very difficult.
Bro, I'm going to stop you right there. Now, Aiden, like, if the reason I haven't approached any of these people is because I walk dogs for a living. I can't get to friggin' wherever Dedham at 11 o'clock or noon or whatever. But let me tell you something. If I showed up there, Aiden doesn't need to tell me. I would be asking those people the same friggin' questions.
Absolutely.
And I think so many of us would. Go ahead.
And well, you know what I was going to say too? Lawyers ask these questions. So when a lawyer asks the witness questions, it's like, is that witness intimidation?
But if these people walk out, they're outside of court, Ted Daniels going to ask them.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, anybody who is a journalist covering this, like, I don't know if LTL is there, he's going to ask them. If Tom CPU, anyone who has a YouTube channel or is writing about this, we're all going to ask him.
And they're
Like,
all
whoever-
journalists. Just because you're not with a corporation media with the mic or, you know, with the Globe, with your credentials, it doesn't mean you're not a journalist. This is the modern day. There are so many avenues. And I know Aiden has stressed this too. So the guise of a journalist, no, he is a journalist.
Well, I mean, he's broken some of the biggest stories in the state.
Exactly.
So I don't know how you can't call him a journalist. He broke Troopergate. That was like that's the biggest cop story in Massachusetts in the last like 25 years, like Troopergate. It went everywhere. It went to other departments. I mean, he got the ball rolling on something big, overtime fraud. And so much so that state troopers went to jail. The feds actually put people in jail for it. And he was the first one on that. There's been story after story after story he's broken. And myself too. Like, if you've broken friggin' news, if you've been in print, he's been in print millions of times, like, for stories that he's done. So he's a journalist. I don't give a shit what this guy says. I get the difference when he says some of it's entertainment or some of it's comedy, some of it's activism. There may be instances of that, but they seriously try to discredit his journalism, and his journalism is top notch. Like, there's biggest story ever on police corruption in Massachusetts, Aiden Kearney. As long as I've been reading the newspapers, Boston Herald, I can't think of one that is bigger than that.
Yet they just don't want to admit he's a journalist.
Yeah.
They just don't want to admit that they've been calling him a blogger.
And that the reason that they're going after him is because he's doing journalism. Like, that's really why they're pissed at him.
Right.
You know, if he wasn't busting their asses, the state police, they wouldn't be on him like this.
Right. They want
You know?
him not to ask questions. They want this to just go away. They want to just, you know, live their fantasy that Karen Reed killed John O'Keefe, and they didn't want anybody poking into it. And the fact that people are not stopping is driving them crazy.
We get some more comments tonight. I want to make sure too, we're going to go back to the video. We're going to listen to Mellow Yellow here, but we are raising money again tonight for the Canton 9 for Free Turtle Boy and Free Karen Reed funds. 60% of any donations that come in, we split them up 20% each. 40% goes to the Young Jurks. You can donate Mike Crawford 1, and at Venmo, Mike Crawford TYJ. You can also do it on YouTube. People have been doing that as well. All that money goes to the Young Jurks because it takes a while to get paid, and we never know if we're actually going to get paid it anyways. So if you want to give directly to the campaigns tonight, the campaign fundraiser that we do, 20% each to each fund, do it through Venmo or the Cash App. But we appreciate all donations we get. Luna's mom, 24, just sent us $10. She says, "Oh my God, I'm a Kathleen fan. So smart. Jim Ferris versus Rita and Kathleen. Ferris and Janetti opposed their children for the McAlberts. I'm with the smart ladies." Yeah, you certainly are. And that's a good point too that we got to discuss is like, look who and no wonder why we're winning. I mean, look, we got Kathleen, we got Rita, we got Angela, we got Jennifer, we have so many good women who are representing. And then, I mean, even, tonight, even the men like John and Mr. Colburn. And, so we have some great people. And on their side, they got Mike Giannetti and they got Jim Ferris. I mean, that's who they send to speak for them. It's
Isn't that
unbelievable.
something? And Paul McAuliffe.
Yeah, Paul McAuliffe.
Paul McAuliffe.
So let's play some more of the video. I mean, there's so much goodness here.
If you see it, you know what it is, but it's very difficult to define it. And I think it's extremely disingenuous of the defendant to say he's not engaging in it when he's saying.
This is the funny part. Look at him turn around.
That was I think that was somebody in the press box.
Oh, that was someone in the front one.
Yeah.
Look at this judge. Look at this judge.
He was not happy.
No.
I'm not encouraging this.
That's I'm
but
gonna.
using terms such
Oh
as
my God.
keeping the lines.
Okay. All right, Mr. Bradle.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. We would just maintain our objections that we've earlier made before the court as to stay away orders on probable cause, First Amendment due process grounds. Ask that you just maintain that for the record in terms of our objection. As to any prior restraint on Mr. Carney's speech, counsel for the Commonwealth is having trouble articulating it because it's a problematic area. I think that, how are you going to do this? Mr. Carney has a First Amendment right.
I love this. He's having trouble articulating.
It was so good.
That's like because
So
it's like
good.
it's a dig at him, but it's like it's the truth, and it's
Right.
like it's exactly the way you say it. He's having a hard time articulating because he can't. It's all bullshit. This is all BS.
And he did it with such class.
Yes, he's a class act.
Exactly. This was good. This is what a good defense gets you. This is why we're raising money for these folks.
To encourage people to exercise their First Amendment rights. I've advised my client about the notion of indirect contact. When you tell someone to contact someone you can't contact on your behalf, that's indirect contact. He can tell people under the First Amendment to, he can share his views with his readers or his viewers, and they can do what they want. He's allowed to encourage them to speak out against what he sees as corruption, what he sees as mismanagement of the Reed case, etc. I've advised him about the notion of indirect contact. We have a disagreement, counsel and I, a respectful disagreement apparently, about what constitutes violating these orders. These orders are, in effect, prior restraints on his First Amendment activity, Your Honor. So they must be narrowly tailored and strictly construed. And in this case, we've discussed it. My client and I think we know as best we can what can and can't be done. In terms of speaking out, that's not harassment, that's not witness intimidation, that's journalism. And it's cloaked by the First Amendment, Your Honor. So I would object to any attempt to sort of craft a prior restraint here, Your Honor. And we'd object to any sort of effort in that regard.
All right, your client consents to the stay away, no contact, direct or indirect with the various victims.
We don't, Your Honor.
You don't.
We object for the record.
You object?
Yes. Yep.
All right. Mr. Mello, under what statute do I have the authority to compel Mr. Kearney to stay away and have no contact with the victims?
Well, Your Honor, it's common practice, as Your Honor
57 of Chapter 276, or I have authority under Section 87 of Chapter 276 to impose conditions with consent. You don't have to ask for personal recognizance. You can ask for bail. You can ask for dangerousness if you think that's appropriate. But under what statute do I have the authority to set conditions to which Mr. Kearney does not consent?
I believe that, well, obviously, Your Honor, you would have to sign the terms and conditions of bail. We could do that through the context of a dangerousness hearing, which the Commonwealth prefers not to employ at this point in time.
You haven't moved for dangerousness.
I'm sorry?
You haven't moved for dangerousness. You haven't invoked 58A.
Right, we have not.
Right. So what statute authorizes me, absent Section 58A, to impose conditions on Mr. Kearney's release if you're asking or consenting to personal recognizance?
I think.
Or even if you're stipulating to a particular bail. Section 87 is different than Section 57 is different than Section 58.
I understand that, Your Honor. I think in total, both sections 57 and 58 would give Your Honor the authority to impose certain conditions, especially when it comes to the witnesses. What I think the challenge here, Judge, is we have competing interests in each other. We have the competing interest of a claim of journalism and personal.
You said 57 and 58 together give the court authority. Section 58 applies to the district court, right? And Section 57 applies to the Superior Court, right? And 58 has a provision in it that says, if the judge, I'm going to paraphrase now, of the district court determines it to be necessary, the defendant may be ordered to abide by specified restrictions on his personal associations or conduct. I quote that now to you in Section 58. I quoted it before in my earlier decision, right? Section 57 has no such provision, right?
I would argue, Your Honor, that although it indicates that the district court judge may do it, certainly comes under the purview of the Superior Court. I don't think the intent of the legislature was to narrow the authority of this particular court and make it less than that of the district court. It's normally that these matters are instituted in the district court before they arrive at Your Honor's level, and I believe that's why the legislature perhaps put that language in, but I don't believe it precludes this court from doing so either.
You have a case that says that? I mean, the
I don't,
statutes are
Judge.
different.
I wasn't
You
expecting.
came in asking me to set a set of release conditions that you.
Do you have any homework done? Did you bring a lunch?
Yeah.
You pack a lunch, buddy? Like, did you see his face when he got it? Oh my God, that was classic.
It's so unbelievable.
I
It's
remember when we-
embarrassment.
Yeah.
It's an embarrassment.
So you just came in here with nothing.
Right.
You
This
don't
is
know.
our taxpayers' money.
And he's explaining things like you can't let someone out with no bail and like have a dangerousness hearing. That's like crazy. You're crazy, dude.
To
Unbelievable.
me, it's like all these charges were all, fake. I mean, they're not real, it's just garbage. And it's blowing up in his face. It's blowing up in his face. That's what I say.
Yeah. I love this comment right here. These is the comments we get. Now, I actually like them, even though it's funny. I want to just wait. Where is it? Here's this one. Someone says, watching LTL, you guys need to coordinate schedules.
Oh,
Like, do you know
Yeah,
how hard
really.
it is to live a life and do this show and
I know.
coordinate schedules with guests? Never mind worrying about when other shows are going to be on. Like, I like LTL too. I like Turtle Boy. That's the only one that I worry about is Turtle Boy. Like, seriously, like that's the only one I'd coordinate my show with, actually, just because I want to watch it. Like, I mean, even the Glare, I like to watch it too, but like, we are not coordinating our schedules around other shows. We can barely coordinate with guests in my own life. Like, tonight's the night for me, just because I'm free. I'm going to be up late. We're going to be doing tons of videos. Someone said we don't do enough lives. We probably don't. It's because I'm so busy. So be happy when you get me and don't worry about LTL or another show. If you want to go watch LTL, go ahead. I like LTL. Good show. But don't try to have us compete and tell us when we can do shows. It gets weird.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Am I off on that? Like, what do you,
Oh,
you
no,
listen?
absolutely. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Well, you
People
can
don't
watch
realize
like
what
just like network TV. You watch one live, and you got the DVR, and you can always go back
Exactly.
and
I
watch.
always watch them later.
I don't
I'll
think I've
watch it
ever
later.
watched anything live. I always watch even everything here. I watch. You know, I
Later.
always forget when things start. So
I half the stuff I'll watch later. I'd say sometimes I watch live, but yeah. Someone says, Jennifer says, we love you, Mike. We got a donation tonight. Again, Luna's mom coming through, another $5. She says, Rita, are you paying for Mello? Can you ask for a refund? Or maybe it's good that he's incompetent,
It
right?
is all of the above.
Couldn't cast a better special boob. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so funny. I guess we want to listen to more of this. You know, actually, I got like court TV lined up too, but I also have Aiden lined up, and I also have the Joker that like only has like 100 people listening right now, maybe even not even that. But Yellow Cottage Sales. People have been asking us to put it on. A lot of people don't want us to put it on. He's going nuts tonight. He's talking about the mob and the conspiracy and putting it to bed. I just want to ask our panel, and I want to ask the audience, what do you want us to go to video next? Do you want to see Aiden? Do you want us to see Court TV, or do you want to see the Yellow Cottage Cheese? Like, what do you want?
I'm
Let's
not a
ask.
big fan of court TV.
No?
I haven't been impressed with anything they've done with this, so I don't mind skipping over them.
And what do you want to go to though? What's
Let's go
your
to Aiden,
preferred?
Sure.
What is it?
Go to Aiden because this was the big
Okay.
news of the day.
What about Yellow Cottage Cheese?
Hard pass?
Yeah, yeah.
What about Rita? A part of me really wants to go to Yellow Cottage Cheese. I don't know why. Well, just because, like, I read that Twitter, and the first thing I like looked at it, was like, this looks like Kevin's writing, like the
Right.
threat guy. So I want to see what he's got to say tonight.
And
But
somebody,
a lot of
somebody
the audience would say
create-
no Yellow Cottage Tale, anything but him. So funny.
somebody put up that
It's me.
account.
I'm the only one that wants Yellow Cottage Tale. I want to
Put 'em
Yellow
up.
Cottage
Put 'em
Cheese.
up for a couple minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he never lasts. It's like the Gong Show. Like,
He's
like
totally-
it's not like we're gonna play the whole video. It's gonna be like 30 seconds, and I'm gonna lose my shit because he's such a loser.
He is. He is.
Yeah. This is. You have to see the room. We have to check it out. We'll probably be on with. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We still got a few minutes with Mello.
We knew Mr. Kearney wasn't going to consent to. He objected to it before in the district court.
Judge,
I think the district court was entirely within its power to set that condition. And it was appropriate for me to uphold that condition. I think it's an appropriate condition to be imposed in this case, in the Superior Court, but I don't know if I have the power to do it under the statutes. And I'm looking for some authority that you might have indicating that I have the power to do it.
what I would ask Your Honor to order is that he comply with all laws. The general provisions when someone is released on bail, the Commonwealth will take it from there if there's.
If he's released on bail, he doesn't have to sign anything with respect to personal recognizance, right?
No.
You're asking me to release him on his personal recognizance, right? You're not asking for me to set bail, and you're not giving me any authority to indicate that I have the right or the power to impose conditions on his release.
I would suggest a dollar bail, Judge. That's what.
Well, excuse me for a second. I have the power to impose conditions of release under Section 87, including stay away, no contact orders with the defendant's consent, right?
Understood.
Okay. So,
I mean, I realize I can appear before Your Honor asking for a high bail, which I don't believe the Commonwealth would be honest to do. We don't expect Mr. Kearney to not appear, at least at this point in time. The normal condition of release, Judge, would be that he comply with all statutes. If Your Honor is not inclined at this point in time to fashion an order, the Commonwealth certainly appreciates the court's position.
I don't have to order him not to commit crimes. If he commits another crime, he'll be in front of the court on a violation notice. I don't have to order that. He's already subject to the law as everybody else is.
We would indicate that's an indirect.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
He was like laughing at him. He was
Yes.
like, he's like half laughing and half pissed. Like, dude, I shouldn't have to explain this shit to you. You're fucking.
He had enough of him today.
Oh,
I'm telling you, he wore his patience last time, and this time he had enough.
It was glorious.
It
Someone,
really was.
oh, I love this one. That's oh my God. I love this comment. Someone said Mumble Menino Jr. That's what it is. I don't know how I didn't come up with that one. He looks like him. He's Mumble Menino Jr. Menino. I'm a mumbler. This guy is not. But I'm not a special prosecutor. This is classic. Unbelievable.
It really is.
Violation, proceed back to court, Judge. I'll accept Your Honor's ruling.
Okay. Anything further, Mr. Bradle?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. All right. I'm going to, on the Commonwealth's recommendation, release Mr. Kearney on.
See, again, this is why I love Bradle too.
Right.
He's like, he knows when to shut up. Less is more. Like Kevin and the Paul guy, they think they're good writers. They think they think a lot of words, especially if they're big words, will overpower people. And some stupid people will fall for that one. But usually it's less words. Can you say what you need with less words? That's when you become a good writer. And can you speak to a larger amount of people? Will they understand what you're saying? Bradle, like he just heard, he's like, done deal.
Yep.
We're done. It's like
Yeah,
I used to sell. I used to be a financial advisor. Part of that was selling. A lot of it was selling. I learned from American Express, even Fidelity to a certain degree. They don't really sell, but more American Express and AIG when I worked there, and even Pioneer. 3 places I worked in financial industry where we did a lot of sales training. And the most important thing you had to learn is once you made your pitch and you asked for the sale, shut the hell up. So many times new salespeople would talk the customer out of it. You ask for the sale and you shut the hell up.
Right.
It's
At
like
that
sometimes
point
on the
in-
show, there's a host do that. I still do that sometimes. Sometimes I talk over my guests. I'm starting to talk over you guys a little bit tonight, but I try not to. I think that's why this show works actually, is because I ask my questions and then I shut the hell up and I let my guests talk. Bradle is good. This guy is really good.
I was going to say at this point in the proceeding, he had already put his mobile order in at Dunkin'. He was ready.
Exactly. Why you need to talk more about it? You already made your order. Exactly. Thank you.
Personal recognizance. The Commonwealth not now looking for bail. I do find that the Commonwealth has asked for conditions to be set on Mr. Kearney's release. But the Commonwealth provides me with no authority that I have the power to do that over Mr. Kearney's objection. The statutes are a little bit convoluted. General Laws 276, Section 87 allows me to set conditions on release if the defendant consents to those conditions. Here, Mr. Kearney doesn't consent to those conditions, and the provision in Chapter 276, Section 58 Paragraph 1, last sentence, which I quoted before, authorizes the district court to set conditions on personal association or conduct, including avoiding all contact with an alleged victim of a crime. That provision does not appear in Section 57, which is the provision that applies in this case for the setting of bail in the Superior Court. And while that provision, Section 57, authorizes the setting of conditions in 209A and related type cases, this is not one of those enumerated in Section 57, which allows me to set conditions on Mr. Kearney's bail over his objection. This is a bail setting under the first paragraph of Section 57, which does not have the same language as in Section 58. So I am hamstrung, at least with the authority given to me by the Commonwealth. So I'm going to release Mr. Kearney on bail. he knows that if he commits a crime, he'll be back in front of the court in quick order. So you'll make sure of that, Mr. Mello, I'm sure. Anything else? We need a pretrial conference and a pretrial hearing date.
I would suggest something in February, pretrial conference. Later February.
February 7th, all right, for a pretrial.
All right, so that's it there. Aiden won,
That's for the 16.
Brattle won.
Oh, it's gonna be,
I'm gonna do it. I want to. What do you think the over under
no,
is?
16 is fine.
How
February
long
16th.
I could actually last listening
And then
to
something in April for pretrial
Kevin from Yellow Cottage Tales? What's the over under?
I'll give it a whole minute.
A whole minute?
Me, that's what I was thinking.
How long do you think I'll last? How long?
A minute.
1
minute?
minute, 50
Enjoy
seconds.
the following week.
You both think a minute?
Yeah,
I think it might even be less. We'll see. Well,
Yeah.
Well, judging by the comments, there's apparently we had to focus on where he is. There's like, so we might be distracted by that for a good 30 seconds before we even listen to it.
$50,000 and or 5 years in jail. Your matters continue to 2/16 at 2 p.m.
Much more. It's just like every aspect of this would have been better to be with the conspiracy. You know, I'd have Turtle Riders would be friendly to me,
Oh,
and
man.
Turtle would be friendly, and I'd have those extra several thousand followers that people like the Glare get on his channel that are all related to the because they ride that
he's
wave.
really melted down. That's like, oh my God. I think that's it. I think it's 15 seconds. Wait, does he say anything about us? He's talking about the glare.
You know, when I took on Turtle Boy, I lost like 800 subscribers
It's
overnight. Like, cause I knew that would happen, but integrity means you pursue the truth.
it's
Integrity means
all about
you
him.
don't back down to bullies.
It's all about him. I'm done. What was that? 20 seconds?
Yeah, that
Can we
was
just
enough.
list the title of this, Putting the Baby to Bed? What?
It's all I lost. I went to bat to Turtle Boy. I'm not a fraud like the glare. I. It's like, dude, this shit is not about you, dude. You're just nobody. Like, I don't know. I don't get this guy. He thinks he's so part of everything. It's like,
I
no,
love
dude.
the doilies, though. Those are some sweet doilies.
Yes, I can see them.
What is going on here? I'm done with him. Like, this is just.
He's obnoxious.
I think it was about 15 seconds of it. That's.
Yeah.
I think we've had enough of this guy. Take him off the
It's
screen.
definitely
We're
a
putting him to bed.
elephant sale that he got all that.
Yeah. I think we go to the king now. This guy right here. This is
Yeah.
what we want to go to.
Woo! Merry Christmas, people.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. How can we do that a little more? Hold on. How do we get that out of the way? All right. Hello, everyone. What's going on? Yeah, I got to do this on Facebook. Every time I try to go live on YouTube on my phone, it just doesn't work. I always get like the reconnect. I don't know what's up with YouTube. They need to get their act together, but that's why I like this. The Facebook Live on my phone works a lot better, even, but we got a pretty good audience on here. I forgot to do my morning thing today because there was no school today for the Wachusett Public Schools for some reason, and so they didn't get on the school bus today, and I was focusing on court, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to do that. But no, I wasn't arrested or anything, as you guys could see. But anyway, guys, I am on my way home right now from Dedham. If you missed the news and the stream, oh man, what a victory! What a Christmas victory today was. Huge victory, man. I mean, so long and short of it today, I was arraigned. So the new charges were just brought to a superior court, a more serious court, the one in Dedham, the Norfolk Superior Court, as opposed to Stoughton District Court, which is like a Mickey Mouse court. And apparently, Ken Mello didn't think it was that serious because he came completely unprepared today. He looked like the bumbling fool that he is. You get what you pay for.
Now we got the Aiden Carney on, but a lot of people are still commenting on Kevin. And Kevin really did not look good in that video. I mean, we just looked at it for a few seconds.
Yeah, he doesn't.
A comment came in from Victoria. She said, he is stressed and losing sleep like Chris Albert. Wow. And compare it to Aiden. It's crazy. Like I feel really good right now beyond the threats that are getting sent to Rita and the other women and even myself. But this is like Kevin did not look good tonight.
No, I think he hurt himself big time in the last several months. He hurt his credibility. I mean, he's got none.
And I think his mental health. Like I feel like the guy's suffering. It's just like,
Yeah.
dude, step away.
Yeah.
Step away, dude. You can't. There's something wrong with you right now, Kev. I want to know if people asked him if he's behind those threats because that Twitter account, it's someone that quotes Kevin a lot. That's my opinion. But let's get back to Aiden. Let's just not even. I know that it's like you look at 10 seconds of like just the worst, like, it stays in your head. That's why, like, looking at Kevin, it's like it's like looking at gore for 10 seconds. You can't get it out of your mind,
Yeah.
It's like, remember that movie, do you remember Faces of Death?
No, I didn't see that.
You know that was when I was a kid. That was like one of those movies that was like you couldn't get, but you got it on video cassette, like on VHS or whatever. And it was like it was like everyone wanted it, and all it was death. It was like someone in a motorcycle, going Evil Knievel, and it goes bad. You know what I mean? Like guy going out of the parachute doesn't work, like all that crap.
Wow.
So it was just like the most goriest stuff around, the Faces of Death. And that's like watching Kevin. It's like it's a train wreck.
He is a train wreck.
Yeah, I guess I always liked that kind of gory stuff, even though I didn't, it's like I didn't really want to watch it, but once I watched it, it was like, oh my God. And like I know there's a whole like gore like horror movies that people are into. I think that stuff's disgusting. I would never watch that.
Yeah, I could never watch that.
No.
It just
That's what it feels like though when I watch Kevin.
Oh yeah.
But as a kid, I did watch that Faces of Death. That was like when you're 13 and they tell you not to, and the other kid from school has it, you're all gonna watch it.
Yeah.
So it was a complete victory. Obviously, we were arraigned. It's a formality. And he wanted to, I oppose any restrictions on my First Amendment rights, which include stay away orders, because they prevent me from, questioning witnesses, asking them questions, whatever I got to do, reporting on the story accurately. And a big thing is that I constantly have to live with this cloud over my head when I do my show, that something I say is going to be misconstrued, intentionally misconstrued by these people as indirect contact with the witnesses. For instance, Mello a couple days ago, and this is why I was a little nervous going into today. Mello a couple days ago told my attorney that I had violated the stay away orders because I had said on one of my morning bus stop things the other day that I said something about how I was going to court. I'm going to be going to the Canton Reed court date, and that the McAlberts will be there, and that I'm not talking to the McAlberts. I said, I'm not going to ask them questions because I respect stay away orders, so I'm not going to do that. But I said, I still don't think they're going to show up because they know that other people can ask them questions. They know that this story has become so big that if Jen McCabe came to a Canton Reed court hearing, like in May, I was the only one that would ask her questions. But now, if she came to Canton Reed court hearings, there are so many others. And that doesn't just mean you people. That means the Ted Daniels of the world and other reporters now who are really much more invested in the story, I think, than they were before. And so that was the point I was making. And of course, because these people are so dishonest, they tried to flip that around and say he's indirectly, even though he said, I'm not telling you to do it, he's kind of telling him to do it. I mean, this is how pathetic these people are. I'm on tape saying, I'm not telling you to contact them. He said something about read between the lines. What does that mean? Read between the lines. I mean, it's just like they're reading what they want to read between the lines. And that's the problem. And that's why we need these orders to go away. Not just because I want to go to their kids' games or anything like that.
I want to stop it right there too. Like, what again? Even if I think none of that is true, actually. Like, well, I think everything Aiden is saying is true. But what I mean is, I don't think the allegation that Aiden is asking people to go and question the witnesses is true. Like I said, people like myself, if I could get a day off and get down there, I would just do it without anyone asking me because it's good footage. People want to see it. You know, of course we're gonna go ask it. That's what journalists and reporters do. And I think Ted Daniel will do that if any of those witnesses show up. And I just like, why is that a crime? Like, why would that be a crime if Aiden even did ask like a reporter to ask them? It's like, that should not be to ask someone who's involved in this murder investigation to ask them a question about what they saw. Like that's considered intimidation. How is that? That should not be intimidating to a witness.
No. And when I was sitting in court today and I was listening to, what they were saying.
Like, I think maybe let's put it this way. I think maybe some of the stuff that's happened to you folks has been criminal, right? Let's pretend it was all this, the intimidation that's been happening to you, the threats. Let's pretend it's criminal. If it's criminal and I ask you questions about it tonight, does that make me a witness intimidator of you? I mean,
no,
it doesn't make sense. Like,
doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Asking questions of somebody is not intimidating. I don't get how that's supposed to be intimidating.
Well,
Ever.
they just don't want the questions asked. So they're just making their own interpretation. I mean, I sat there in court listening and there was a part of me and I just inside, I'm like, they're just trying to tape his mouth shut so he can't do anything until this trial is over. I mean, that's what I felt sitting there. It just didn't feel right.
And that keyword interpretation, because if we go back to the Canton 9, where Chris Albert said he felt intimidated by them, yet when we had the protest Sunday, the police department said, oh, we're not intimidated by you at all. You can go and protest right in the front. And then the chief said, well, it's just up for interpretation. One's feeling threatened may not be another. And you cannot apply a law like that. The laws have to be black and white. And that is where the case against the Canton 9 fails. You can't have it both ways. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Does breathing intimidate you? I mean, it could be anything, right? I mean, so yeah, let's watch more of this. This is good. He really nails it too on the way home on his car ride home. I watched this. It was really good.
I've already done that. But because I have to do a show every Tuesday and Saturday in Turtle Club on Thursdays, and now we do these bus stop lives. And at any point, they can take anything I say and twist them. All of these charges are based off of things that I've said out of context, all of them. And so it's hard living with that over your shoulder, knowing that these people are malicious, they're evil, they want to put me in jail for 90 days if I violate this order. And Ken Mello said today, when he came into court, he's like, we're going to give him one more chance. If he does it one more time, then we're going to spank him with this. And so I have the right to oppose it, and I did. We opposed the stay-away orders. And when that happens, when I opposed it in Stoughton District Court, the judge can just do whatever they want. I guess Judge O'Malley can just do whatever he wants. And he's like, he granted the stay-away orders, really vague ones. But in Superior Court, it's different. It's more serious court. So in Superior Court, you have to cite a statute, a law, that says that, Mr. Carney can't contact these people. And he couldn't do it. It was like a kid that didn't do their homework. And they were brought, and they're like, they tried to give the book report.
All right, I'm gonna stop right there. We get a comment here. Every time John comes on, he gets this comment. He's been well, you've only been on once before, but you get this comment a second time.
That's okay.
Brian, yeah, they say who's the guy on the live because I don't really introduce people lately too much. John, tell us who you are. This is your second time on the show. John is a Canton resident.
Yes.
Most important part.
And I've been following everything along with everybody else, but I didn't really get energized until the Canton 9 happened. And that was kind of the straw that broke my back and said that this is getting bigger than, and just more impactful than I ever could have thought. So, and I wanted to show that, they always say that this is the silent minority or the lunatic fringe or just a few people, angry mob. And it's beyond that. So yeah, I might not be the most vocal person. I might not be the most prominent person, but I am a resident of this town that wants change, that wants transparency, and wants better communication. And so the more people like me who may not be as vocal that show, I think it's the better. So yeah, I'm not a rock star, but maybe,
No, I think
maybe I'm just a rock. I don't know.
I think you both are. Like, I think you not only are you vocal, you both, Rita and John, you're very well spoken. You make your points very well. People like you when you speak. So you've got good communication skills, John and Rita tonight. Better than mine. And I host, so you're really good.
You have great skills. You have great skills, Mike. Yes, I love your show.
Mike, you killed it on that Bradle interview, and I told you that when I saw you.
Yeah.
Yes,
No, you're great.
I like that interview. He made it easy, though, too. He was a great guest, easy guest. Does his homework. I really like that guy, Tim Bradle, attorney Tim Bradle. I want to get him back on the show and ask him more questions about what happened today. Hopefully, we'll see if that happens soon. We got another comment, a $5. I forget what they call these when they give you money on YouTube, but I really appreciate it. From Luna's mom, 24. She says, this is like her third one tonight. She says, Shakespeare, methinks thou protest too much. You're making me say Shakespeare. This is difficult. To Canton DA, police chief, council members, 0 Fs about transparency. Thank you so much, Luna's mom. We also had some other donate, like I know one came in earlier. I don't know if I read it, so I'm going to read it right now. That was Michelle W on YouTube. She sent it all on 99. She says, what happened with Tom's assault case? There you go. There's another Canton police case that just seemed to kind of go away. I don't know what's going on with that. Do any of you know what's going on with that?
No, they probably didn't get the same attention that the egg and the Ford signature got. Any assault against peaceful protesters voicing their First Right amendments doesn't get any attention.
And this is funny. Brian Fitz says, I love Brian Fitz. He says, Mike, watch the Glera. They are called super chats. Super chats. Super chats. I know all about it. Yeah, it's a super chat. I should know from watching the Glera, that annoying guy that comes on every time there's a super chat. It's a song. I don't know where. Maybe I should start playing that when I get a super chat. Then I could shut up. I'll just play the super chat guy.
No,
you don't like that? A lot of people don't
I'm
like
just
it.
saying, don't shut up. Just,
Yeah. You've got a super chat.
Yes.
So thank you for the super chats. That's what they're called. Of course. Got to think of the Glera when I think of what a super chat is. Yeah, let's play more video, I guess, right? Is that what we're going to do? We still have other video we could play, but Turtle Boy nails it.
He got up there and he just made a complete fool of himself. And it was like I told my attorney, I go, he looks like a deer caught in the headlights. He looks like, excuse me? Like, this is not, it was like for the first time, it didn't go as planned for them. They're so used to getting their way and everything they want. He had no precedent. He had no statute. He had no case law. He had nothing. And the judge is like, what do you want me to do? It's your job as the attorney to explain to me why I need to put orders in place, and you're not doing that. It was like he was begging him to, and he couldn't do it. So we got the victory. And the orders were thrown out completely. There are now no, and then they started talking about a dangerous hearing. He was like on the fly. He's like, what about dangerous hearing? And it's like, that's laughable. Everybody knows I'm not dangerous. And then he wanted to do $1 bail. Yes, $1 bail. Oh. So I got personal recognizance. I'm free. I mean, that's how much of a joke these charges are. Like, nobody in superior court has 9 felony charges or 13 felony charges, however many there are, and just gets no bail. That's how you know this is a joke. I'm on no bail, $0. 0. Because they know I'm not coming. They know I'm not missing out. They know I look forward to these court dates. And let me just say this, right? The media and the media was so much better, I think. I just looking at these people, it's like they get it now. It's like they get it. Like Ted Daniel gets it now. He has had a couple instances now where the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office is hiding information, and like he's going to the Secretary of State's office and they're still not giving him what he needs. He's like, oh man, I'm telling you, my arrest changed everything. And they're like, oh wow, maybe there is something. It was the biggest mistake they could have made in the Karen Reed case, was arresting me, because it makes them look like they're covering something up. The guy who has been doing this, and it's a bad day for the McAlberts, isn't it? It's a great day for freedom and Turtle Riders and Turtle Boy and all of us. It's a bad day for the McAlberts. Like, this was a crushing defeat. And honestly, it's like, watch out for that Judge Krupp, though. Like, that guy is obviously smart, very smart. I don't know if he's Yale educated, where he went to law school, but he's an intelligent person, clearly. And he knows exactly what he's going to do. He doesn't seem like a fun guy to hang out with, but he comes in prepared. You know, that guy was like an A student and everything. And it seemed like it was almost as if, and this is the impression I got, like he is looking into the future, and he knows he knows that if he grants a stay-away order on me, we're going to appeal it to the SJC. And the worst thing that can happen for judges professionally is when they're overruled by the SJC. And I think he realized that if he granted those stay-away orders today, that he would be overruled by the SJC, like Auntie Bev was. She got dressed down by the SJC. So that's just what I think. I think he was just like, Mello, can you give me something? Because I can't grant these stay-away orders if you don't explain it to me. They're going to appeal it, and then I'm going to be the judge that got overruled by the SJC. And I don't think anybody wants that. I don't think any judge wants that professionally. So, you know, I obviously was not a fan of him last time, and I'm still not a big fan. Doesn't seem like a fun guy to hang out with, but it was a complete and total victory, and the first of many to come. Many. Actually, you know what? Timmy Duggan the other day was our first real victory with this. You know, maybe that set the tone. And there are more victories to come. And last night we raised $5,000. I gotta add it all up. Somebody says around $5,000 or so for Janelle the dispatcher, which she was elated after the show, guys. Elated, right? And so she's gonna fight. It's like, I'm telling you, they are in for the fight of their lives. But there's a good chance we might not ever get there.
I just want to stop right there. Janelle's actually listening right now too, so she's watching the show. I'd love to actually speak to you, Janelle, when you get a chance. That was a good thing that Turtle Boy did last night, raising money for her defense.
Oh, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. I was watching.
Did you watch it?
I donated to it. It was so much fun. Just to see all the love. I mean, that's just, everybody's like family.
Exactly.
It's American. And it doesn't matter whoever it is. We're just going to keep raising money until we get justice, because we're going to support whoever it is. Whoever's next, we're going to support them.
Absolutely. Yeah, I watched some of it. Unfortunately, I had to do some family stuff and was kind of bummed actually because I wanted to watch it all. And family was like, we need to watch this movie. We need to
Yeah.
watch something else besides Turtle Boy tonight. All right, honey.
I know. I
Don't
did
pull
the
you
same
away.
thing.
Sometimes I sacrifice. You gotta sacrifice for your family sometimes.
You
Catch
do.
up
They
with
get
the
to catch
Turtle
up.
Man. Catch up with the Turtle Man later. I
Yeah.
caught up with him today.
Oh, good.
Yeah, today was a good day. I mean, you could see this was a good court day for Aiden Carney.
Absolutely. I mean, I
There's
think
a good chance we might not ever get to an actual trial in this because of the feds. And when I came out of court, that's one of the first things I said. I always think about what I'm going to say to the media. Like what, obviously I could rant about it for hours, but you get one point to make, right? And the point I was making.
Well, I want to stop it there. We got another good comment for Rita actually. Someone said I felt so bad for Rita. This is Christine on YouTube. She says standing next to Janetti, he was off the rails. What was up with that guy Janetti today? Did you talk to him? It looks like you were.
I was trying. So Aiden and Tim were on the stairs, and the reporters were interviewing them. And Janetti's going crazy, making noise, and I didn't know if they could, the reporters could hear him. And so I was trying to get Janetti away from Aiden, and then I was actually kind of like trying to pull him back, and the cop said, no, don't touch him. And then the cop came in and swooped in and moved him away and got him out of the way. And then he wandered his way back, and he just wasn't stopping. So I went over and tried to talk to him just to distract him. And, the cop was like, yeah, don't bother with this guy. But I think he was just there for attention, really. I think he just wanted to be heard and to get on camera and make some noise. And, people were filming him. I wouldn't have given him that attention, but I guess it was kind of interesting to watch him. But
Yeah, interesting is a good adjective for it.
yeah.
Very interesting. Interesting guy. Yeah, so comments coming in on Janelle too. John writes, I've known Janelle and her family my whole life. Great family in general. And that's the dispatcher that Aiden raised money for last night. And all of you did. You donated to it last night, Rita?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, it was just, you just got to do it, it was just, we got to support each other, and it was tough. I mean, some people posted that, she knew the risks and everything else. You know what? These cops do it all the time. They're running plates left and right. And she was just, she fell victim to what they were trying to do.
And who
So,
gets charged for a felony like that though, too?
right.
No, nobody does. That's like way overcharging somebody.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
She lost her job. That should be enough.
Was about the federal investigation. That cannot be stated enough. That has to constantly be put in the media, and they have to constantly be reminded that the people who are prosecuting me, Janelle, the Canton Nine, and Karen Reed are all under federal investigation by the United States Attorney's Office for corruption in the Karen Reed case. That cannot be stated enough. And that the district attorney himself sent a letter to the manager of the DOJ asking to speak to the manager and telling them to please stop investigating me because a woman who worked in his office 10 years ago is married to Dustin Chow, who's head of the anti-corruption unit of the U.S. Attorney's Office. And obviously they laughed. They probably had a good laugh at that. Look at this idiot. And he's the guy who's coming after me. I'm not under federal investigation. I don't know what that's like. That's got to be a lot of pressure. He has significantly more to worry about in the long term than I do. They all have. I saw Tully there. And by the way, another point to be made here. Not a single one of the alleged victims in this was in court today. It was all our people, all of them. I saw Tully, the human penis. He was there. He comes to everything because this is his life. I'm his obsession. I'm the one he'll never get. He had his one day with me on October 11th. That's it. Now daddy's fighting back and he doesn't know what to do. So none of them were in court. How have you ever seen that before? Have you ever seen an arraignment for somebody who's been charged with a serious crime and not a single one of the victims or any of their family members are in court to watch you get arraigned? I've never seen that. Somebody gets killed, somebody gets run over by a car, somebody gets hit, you name it, somebody gets robbed. The victims are in court. The victims' families are in court because they want to see the perpetrator held responsible. None of these people show up to court, and they're the victims. They're the victims, and they're sitting there watching TV, and we're like, oh, shit. We put all of our faith in Ken Mello, who wears the same checkered suit to work to court every day and just looks like a bumbling fool. And today he was exposed, and it's a bad day for the McAlberts. And when I got outside, I made sure to mention that, because I want to connect my case to Karen Reed's case. And I said that one of the people that I'm being charged with intimidating is Colin Albert. And they claim that I've intimidated him to the point where he had to drop out of Bridgewater State University because the only evidence they put into the charging documents is that I made a phone call to Colin Albert on July 8th. And I left a voicemail mocking his threatening TikToks towards the Advantage Boys. That's it. So I said, I made a point here. Colin Albert was visited in his dorm room on April 10th by 2 FBI agents who gave him a summons to appear in front of a federal grand jury. If anyone's intimidating Colin, it's the FBI. And he's probably he's probably suffering emotional harm from that. As he should be. Because it's not normal for a college freshman to be visited by 2 FBI agents. And that is the reason that he dropped out of Bridgewater State. Because he knows that he's got to clear his schedule coming up. And he can't, it's a lot to have on your plate for a 19-year-old at this time, is looming federal indictments. You never know, am I going to be arrested for murder? What is going to happen to me? That is why. This nonsense about he dropped out of school because I left a voicemail mocking his spiel about the Advantage Boys was bullshit from the beginning. It was a lie concocted by a district attorney's office that is under federal investigation for corruption. The same district attorney's office that is framing Karen Reed, prosecuting a woman who they know as a matter of fact is innocent in order to cover for the same people that I am now being charged with intimidating. That's the story. That's how we connected my case today to Karen Reed's. And we are going to win. We are going to win so big. Today is the first of many victories to come. Many victories to come. And I was just so happy to turn around in court on less than 24 hours notice. This hearing was held, less than 24 hours, to turn around in court and see all of the rows filled with my people, all turtle riders there, all supporters of the Free Karen Reed movement, all people of different political persuasions, different backgrounds, all there because they know this is wrong. And they know that I've done nothing wrong and that they're not willing to just let it happen. And you're all there with me. And I appreciate that so much, to walk into court and have people outside cheering for me and have media there. It's like, I guess I'm not a nobody.
You're not a nobody. I got another super chat from Luna's mom. She says, Mike, can you interview with someone from the Advantage Boys? I would love to speak to any of the Advantage Boys. If anyone has a lead on that, hit me up. I would love to have the Advantage Boys call in. Can you imagine, Rita? That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Did we lose Rita?
I'm here.
No.
Sorry.
Oh, you're there.
It was right in the chat. Advantage Boys. It says we're here. It says they're right here in the chat. They want to interview.
No way. There's some Advantage Boys here. Oh my God, I'm here for an interview. Are you shitting me?
Yes. And
You
it
gotta
just
call
says we're
in.
hockey players.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to try to turn on the phone lines. People were asking for the phone lines to come on tonight. Now I'm gonna have to figure out how to turn the phone lines on again tonight, because if the Advantage boys are here, we want to hear from them. That has to happen, right?
Yes, they're in there again. They said they're hockey players.
Oh no way! You think this is gonna be real? I don't think it's gonna be.
I don't know. And then it says Fit Mom trains us.
No way.
Yeah.
You know what? We have a phone number. We'll put it up on the screen.
Yeah.
Imagine if we actually got one of the Advantage boys to call in.
I know.
This would be something. 978-560-3155. I think we're connected. Let's try. Let's do this. Let's go. Bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang. 978. You got it. Give us a call. 560. What is the number again? I don't even know my burner number. I've say it every week and I still don't know it. I have to write it down. It was not. Let's wait for the screen to tell me what it is, because I wasn't even preparing this tonight.
One thing I did want to point out while we're waiting is the mainstream media presence today and how their questions were more appropriate. And in fact, I think 2 stations carried this live, which they would never normally have done. So clearly, something's happening here.
Yeah, there was some good questions, especially when they asked Brady.
And that's a competitive market. And now that they see that Boston 25 has been doing this
Exactly.
good job on it, they now want to, maybe we can get a piece of it now too. But how they play catch up is going to be interesting to watch.
Nine.
5
Yeah.
was there.
Yeah.
5
5 was there.
Hey, you guys finally showed up.
They've been there before, but they
And
haven't
they
really
streamed
covered
it.
well.
They streamed it today.
Did they?
Yeah. 978-560-3155. Pull up, Advantage boys. Pull up. Come on.
Yes.
Pull up. Where are you? I mean, I just put the phone lines on. Pull up. I'm going to read the number again. If you're from Canton, you can call in tonight. If you know what? I don't think we should. I'm like, should we have the dispatcher call in or not? Probably not. I don't want to take too much risk there, but I really want the Advantage boys. Here we go. Who's this? Who is this?
It's Michael.
Turn down your you're listening back. Turn it off.
It's Michael.
Your name is Michael.
Yeah.
Are you with the Advantage boys?
No. I'm from Canton.
You're from Canton. Is this Janetti?
Mike Wilson. Yep.
Oh, it's Mike
Boston
Wilson. All right, cool. Mike, what's going on tonight?
No, nothing. He just asked me to call in, so I'm going to give him a buzz.
You're on the
Is
phone.
Mike there?
Yeah, you're here. You're talking to me.
Oh, bro, I can't even hear you, man. I'm sorry.
You want me to yell? What do you got for us?
Okay,
Tell us what
Rita.
you got quickly.
All right, man. So I just want to thank you guys for doing what you do. And I was out there a couple of weeks ago with the American flag, walking up and down the sidewalk, having fun, freezing my butt off too. I'm glad that the main media showed up as well and asked important questions, like that gentleman has said as well. And Mike, you, my friend, are a great wrestler. And, sometimes we have to throw it around, maybe mix it up a little bit, big guy. Rita,
I don't want to
you're
hurt
the best.
myself.
I'll let you guys go. I'll talk to you.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, bye.
He's a good guy. This is Boston Mike. I like him. He's a good guy. He actually knew John O'Keefe. He used to play basketball with him.
Really?
Yeah, he called in a previous show and talked about that. He's a big supporter of ours. Thank you, Boston Mike, for calling in. That was a confusing call at first, but it was good. It was quick. I like that call. But I want the Advantage boys. He's from Canton too. So where are the Advantage boys? I was promised.
It says I just made this username. I'm Team Karen though.
See, I knew it.
Jackie's in the picture because she looks like she's on steroids. So it's a fake.
We
it's a
knew.
fake
We knew. It's a fake troll account.
Well, they said they're Team Karen, but they just
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're for us, but it's basically a troll account.
Yeah,
They call it parody account. We call them parody accounts.
Oh, okay.
Well, we got another call. We'll take this call. People want to call in. We'll take a couple calls. What's going on? Who's on the line?
Hi, Mike. It's Jean.
I knew it was going to
From
be Jan from Dorchester. Usually,
How are you?
How are you? Usually, you have call number one.
Yeah, because I was waiting for the Advantage boys to call in. So I wanted to wait a minute.
And wait a minute, too. You said that if I went down, you were going to go down with me in Canton. I didn't see you in Canton, did I?
No, you didn't. And you know what? I left messages on your little but you didn't get them. I ended up getting so sick Saturday.
Oh no.
I was dead Sunday, dead. Like just I died.
Well, I'm glad you didn't go.
I think I had COVID. I didn't go to the doctors, but I was sick. I couldn't go Sunday.
Well, it's good that you
But
didn't
we
go.
will meet, I promise you.
I'm glad you didn't
Yeah,
go sick.
yeah.
Don't go anywhere sick to
Yeah.
come see me. Yeah.
Right. Today, I just want to say today was absolutely amazing. Actually, someone made a meme on Facebook earlier of Rita looking at Janetti, and someone wrote, "I'm not in Canton anymore." I was dying laughing.
That was great.
It was so funny.
It was.
But what I wanted to say, it was such like watching that today and seeing the judge in Mello. Oh my God, when he was ever like, the judge was basically telling him, well, you're not looking for bail. And then he's like, yeah, all right. Well then, I'll take bail for $1.
Yeah. I'll have a dangerousness hearing and give the guy bail for $1. I mean, this is
Price is right. $1.
I mean,
oh,
so like it was such a joke. And I was so scared, like watching this today, I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, I was worried sick about Aiden. But, in the long run, it all turned out. But I want to say with these threatening letters and stuff, people talking that shit, Rita.
Yeah.
Listen, girl, I'm from Dorchester, all right? And if you ever need me, I'll be there for you, Rita.
Oh, thank you so much. And I'm there for you too.
I've kicked men's ass before, so trust me. And I know I can take Farris. And I think it's Farris.
I'd love to
I
see
think
Farris too. I'd love to look right in his face.
Oh my
Oh.
God.
I'm telling you, that sounded
That
like
rude
Farris,
son of a
the
gun.
cowboy that left that message, that threatening message to Rita. That sounds like Farris because
A lot of people
that
think it
day
is
he
Farris.
I'm telling you, because that day he was so pissed that she left when he got to talk, because he's
know.
like, I was actually gonna talk to Rita, but she got up and left. So he's pissed. And let me tell you, these people are just cowards. These aren't real men. Any real men I've ever met in my whole life would not hide behind a fake account, whether it's sports, your work, politics. They don't hide. They come out straight up and tell you who they are and why they believe this. These are all just cowards. And the reason why, Rita, the Canton police aren't doing anything, or you don't feel like you're getting anywhere with them, because they're the same people that are sending these people to write these things.
Absolutely.
They love it.
Yeah.
They effed up big time. All right. And now everybody is getting in on this. Like everybody's saying, the news media is getting bigger. More people are seeing it. It's now they don't know what to do. So they're trying to use scare tactics.
Yeah.
They'll do this to shut you up. They'll do this to shut him up. They'll say this. None of what they say is true. None of what they say is facts. Nothing. They are just straight up liars sent to do the dirty work of these cowards. And in the end, it's all going to come out, and these people are going to have to, well, when it all comes out, you won't see any of them anymore. They're just a bunch of cowards. And I fight with them all the time online and everything too. And I decided I'm just not going to do that no more, because that's what they want to do. They want to get under your skin.
Don't even bother.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time. You just had a comment, Gene. You got a lot of comments in the chat. One was Gene
Oh,
in
I'm sure.
Gone
My
Baby Gone.
accident,
Were you in
right?
that movie? Gone Baby Gone?
Yeah, I was. Why? Does that person got a problem if I was?
Were you really in that movie?
Were you really?
No, I'm only kidding.
You're hilarious. Does that person have a problem? Yeah, what's your problem about it?
Yeah, what's up, Smitty? What's up, Smitty 4239?
Oh, I love you, Gene. Thank you for calling.
Merry Christmas, you guys.
Merry
Christmas
Christmas,
to you,
Gene.
And John, just one thing I have to say to you. When you said the doilies, I started laughing my ass off because those things have been in my life forever. So when you said doilies, I just started dying.
Yeah.
But Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I will see you guys next year.
You
All
too.
right.
Thank you,
All
Gene.
right. You too,
Merry
Gene.
Christmas.
Good talking to you.
Bye.
Bye. Gene wants to throw fists tonight. Hey, you know what? When women get threatened, they're gonna throw fists. You know, like it just Gene from Dorchester.
Yes. You got to stand up to these people. You just got to stand up. They used to they used to get in their ways.
And we had a comment that Tom has his court case in February. So let's listen to more of this video. We're almost done with it. Turtle Boy is he's really throwing it down. He knows what he's talking about.
Nobody's don't have going to court and have every media outlet, every corporate Boston media outlet there with a camera live streaming it. That doesn't happen for typical witness intimidation arraignments, but it happened for me because they know that this is not a typical witness intimidation arraignment. This is an unprecedented abuse of power by the government to silence a journalist who is getting way too close. Way too close. Remember, who found Lucky Loughran? Who's the first one to report about Lucky Loughran? That would be me. They hid. Michael Proctor knew about the existence of Lucky Loughran since January. He knew exactly, and he knew that Lucky Loughran plowed that road. And he went out of his way hoping that no one ever found him. Well, he didn't know that Karen Reed's PI had found him in February, and they never published that report. And he definitely didn't know that the FBI found Lucky Loughran. So when I found Lucky Loughran, as an example of award-winning journalism, you track down a witness and you ask them questions. And Lucky was happy to talk to me, right? He was happy to talk to me. And when he told me about the FBI and I reported that, Michael Proc, just picture how much they shit their pants when that happened. Oh, shit, the FBI found the plow driver and we didn't know. Why didn't they tell us? And they're like, they didn't tell us because we're the ones being investigated. That's why they didn't tell us, because they're not going after Karen Reed. They're going after us. And now that they know that the feds know Karen Reed didn't do this. And they're looking through all of our reports and they're looking for things that we lied about. And they want to know who knew, who signed off on this. They shit their pants. And instead of, getting their act together, what did they do? They started building a case against me for wiretapping and witness intimidation and blah, 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 blah. Well, it's going nowhere. It was a bad day for them today. It was a really bad day. And I hope they all have a shitty Christmas because they deserve it.
They do
Santa
deserve
puts
it.
coal in their stockings. These are scummy people abusing the system. And there was a heckler today. There was a heckler. But it was an unexpected one. I didn't have Mike Giannetti on my bingo card today, and I don't know about any of you he did either. I did not know that. It's like none of the McAlbert, at least he showed up. None of the McAlberts showed up. Even goddamn Riccio and Krusty Panties, these people who blah, 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 online all day. Talk. That's all they do. All they do. They don't show up in person. Giannetti, I didn't know he could find the courthouse. I've never seen Mike Giannetti in person. If you guys don't know who that guy was today, the heckler, I wrote about him 3 years ago. He's been in Ratchet Madness, a 1 seed twice. He made the Final Four once, I think. Oh my God, just go. He is the funniest character in Turtle Boy history. And that's hard, like funniest. Like I did a rap battle with him once. I roasted him. He's real mad about that. He's obviously got no teeth. I did not realize how little teeth he had until I saw him today. And he, I forget how I wrote about him because he was, there's just so many videos of him. It was a whole bunch of shit. Basically, he's killed a whole bunch of women because he's a crack dealer, and he women that he sells drugs to constantly die, and including Lisa Hainsworth. That's why we say justice for Lisa. He gets real mad about that. And then he took me to court. He got an order on me. He tried getting an order on me, and he did get an order on me because he didn't list the right address for me, and so I never got the paperwork. And an order was issued without me being there. And then I had to go and fight that once I found out about it. And we had a 2-party hearing, and it's watch the court audio on that. It is the funniest thing you've ever seen. He cross-examines me, and he goes, Your Honor, did you or did you not say that you were going to take my son and kidnap him and make him a transgender baby? And I go, no, I did not. And he goes, Your Honor, perjury. Because I said that I was going to adopt his son when he goes to, because DCF should take his son away because he's a crackhead. And I'm going to adopt his son, and I'm going to let him choose his gender because I'm progressive. Okay? That's what you're supposed to do these days. And he's like a crackhead, so he really perceives that as me saying I'm going to kidnap his son. Like, that's in his head, that's really what he's doing. In his head, he's constantly talking about how he's constantly posting about how I hacked into his accounts and I stole his Facebook, and he found me on Toothfinder. I'm like, Toothfinder? It looks like you could use a Toothfinder. But he's funny. I mean, he's harmless. Like, he's just a literal crackhead in his own world who attempted to hijack the press conference, and I'm glad he didn't. I do ask at these things, if you don't engage with these people at this thing, like, I appreciate blocking them out so that we can hear. Like, it's like annoying when they do that, because people aren't here for them. They're here to talk to me and to talk to my attorney and the case in general. And so we don't want to hijack it with a back and forth with these people. It's never a good thing to get in back and forth with these people. But, Giannetti has absolutely no idea what any of this is even about today. Like, just go read the Giannetti blogs, and you'll be like, go down that rabbit hole, watch the Giannetti videos, and you will laugh for hours. So, anyway.
It is funny. I guess Giannetti got shot by a cop recently, too. Did you see that?
I never even heard of this person until today.
Yeah, you don't want to probably talk about him, but it's just like, when your life is that much of a train wreck, like, focus on that. Like, that's what I feel bad for the Giannetti guy, honestly, but it's like, dude, focus on fixing your life. You know your life is fucked up, Mike Giannetti, and you're never gonna get better unless you admit that. And your issue isn't Aiden, it's you. And people will accept you if you work yourself, do the right thing, but I don't think you ever will. Yeah, I want to skip over this.
I just want to say,
it's pretty much
thank
over
you
here
to everyone who came. Right. Thank you to everyone who's been covering this.
I guess Boston 25 just did a feature on Dubs.
The tides are officially
Boston
turning.
25. Maybe we'll check that out in a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do have more videos. I did want to play Court TV, but John didn't want us to play Court TV tonight. What I want to know, what is your beef against Court TV, actually, John?
I mean, they just bring on these talking heads that have no idea what they're talking about. And
like Coffin Daffer and Wendy Murphy.
Yeah, and it distracts from the truth. And, if we want to bring this to a national audience, we want the most truth out there as possible. And it's just, they're just doing this to fill time and be there for entertainment. So I just don't have respect for them as a outlet on this particular.
I did notice that they did have some better people on recently, like that attorney from Boston, the criminal defense attorney. forget his name, but he was good.
Now they broke ground with the OJ trial, and I have to give them credit for everything they did with the OJ trial, but that was 1994. So we are in 2023, and it's a different story over there now.
I want to see what they're saying today, because they did have an episode, their little thing on it.
Spearheaded this cover-up. You all know.
The idea that multiple police department, the medical examiner, and prosecuting agencies are joining in or taken in by a vast conspiracy should be seen for what it is, a desperate attempt to reassign guilt.
We now have new details in the case against Massachusetts defendant Karen Reed and the controversy surrounding the death of her police officer boyfriend. Popular Boston-based blogger Aidan Turtleboy Kearney, who is known for his relentless coverage of this case, has had 16 more charges added to his indictment and is expected to be arraigned on those charges this afternoon. Furthermore, Court TV has also learned from inside sources that multiple protesters have been criminally charged and will be in court January 4th for a hearing of their own.
As you may know, since the beginning, Reed and her counsel have adamantly proclaimed her innocence, alleging this was a cover-up by the Boston Police Department. Let's take a listen to some of the evidence the defense says exonerates Reed from the murder of her boyfriend, John O'Keefe.
Shortly after John O'Keefe died, Brian Laughlin told us that he did plow the street in front of 34 Fairview, made a pass by there at 2:30 in the morning on January 29th. And when he passed that house, there was not a lot of snow that had fallen. Visibility was good. The lights were working on his plow. He passed right by the area where John O'Keefe's body would have been if Karen Reed had actually struck him with her vehicle. And he confirmed that at 2:30 a.m., plowing that area, there was no body there.
Why is Jennifer McCabe one of the parties that was inside the house that night, the sister-in-law of Brian Albert? Why was she Google searching? How long does it take for a human body to die in the cold? The Apple Cocoa core data indicates, or the core time indicates exactly what time that Google search occurred. That time was at 2:27 and 40 seconds in the morning on January 29th. That's 3.5 hours before John O'Keefe's body was found.
The Apple health data that Alan referenced earlier shows that he did walk, I think, approximately 80 steps and went up and down approximately 3 flights of stairs. You don't do that by getting out of a vehicle and being struck by the vehicle.
He was like,
As a result, and with the help of Turtleboy, many Massachusetts citizens have taken Reed's side and made their presence known before each and every hearing. Let's take a look at some of those protests now.
We're not putting up with that. We're right here today, Jim McDermott, and we're not going to be quiet. We got it.
On October 11th, the controversy grew when Turtleboy was arrested and charged with 1 count of conspiracy and 8 counts of intimidation. And now a Norfolk County grand jury expanded the charges, returning a 16-count indictment against him. Included in his new charges are 2 more counts of conspiracy and 5 counts of picketing a witness. In an attempt to address this conspiracy, the District Attorney Michael Morrissey made an unprecedented move earlier this year, releasing a video statement negating the allegations and warning citizens about harassing witnesses. Let's watch a bit of that statement together now.
This will be the first statement of its kind in my dozen years as Norfolk District Attorney. The harassment of witnesses in the murder prosecution of Karen Reed is absolutely baseless. It should be an outrage to any decent person, and it needs to stop. Innuendo is not evidence. False narratives are not evidence. However, what evidence does show is that John O'Keefe never entered the home at 34 Fairview Road in Canton the night he died. Jennifer McCabe, Matthew McCabe, and Brian Albert. These people were not part of a conspiracy and certainly did not commit murder or any crime that night. They have been forthcoming with authority writing statements and have not engaged in any cover-up. They are not suspects in any crime. They are merely witnesses in a case. To have them accused of murder is outrageous. To have them harassed and intimidated based on false narratives and accusations is wrong. They are witnesses doing what our justice system asks of them. This should be seen for what it is and not used as a pretext to attack and harass others. What is happening to the witnesses, some with no actual involvement in the case, is wrong. It is contrary to the American values of fairness and the constitutional value of a fair trial. It needs to stop now.
Well, as the controversy grows and we prepare for the trial set to begin in March, a few questions come to mind. What will this trial end up looking like? And how will the state refute these allegations of conspiracy? And will a jury be able to convict Karen Reed for the murder of her police officer boyfriend?
Michael, I want to ask you this before we bring in the guest, and that is, yes, there are laws around peaceful demonstrations. You cannot intimidate witnesses. But I feel like the number of charges now against Turtle Boy and the other demonstrators is only exacerbating this Karen Reed case and making it even harder for a jury to be picked.
Yeah, I think at times you can find police can be very protective of their.
I'm gonna stop right there. That was a good point today too. I saw on Court TV. I was watching a little bit on a different segment. I don't even know what's going to be in this segment. I'm just playing it straight up. But I did say one of the commentators say today, like, they're just making Aiden famous. That's all this whole case is doing. It's just going to make him super famous, and it's not helping them with the Karen Reed case. So it's really backfiring, actually. And I agree. It's like so obvious at this point. I am going to take a little break in terms of I got to step away from the camera when I use the bathroom, check on my doggy and all that. If either of you want to drop off, we've been going since 8 o'clock. It's been 2 hours and 40 minutes. Do you still want to stay up late, or do you want to drop off?
I got to drop off. I got to work tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But it's been
thank you
fun,
so
Mike.
much for being here, Rita. Thank you so much for being here, John.
Thank
Have a great
you.
night.
We appreciate
thank you, everybody. Merry Christmas and
Merry Christmas.
Yes. Okay.
Love
Thank you.
both. Thank you so much.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye now. So again, my name's Mike Crawford. We're playing a little of the Court TV. I'm going to continue to play this. I'm staying up late doing the show late tonight. We had some great guests, some great callers. I want to keep playing the videos tonight. There's a lot of video to go through. So I'm going to continue on with Court TV right now.
Their own. Sometimes they can be a little tone deaf, and that's just might be going to what you're talking about. I think going this hard after them, especially the protesters, this Turtle Boy guy, I'm not sure what's motivating him, but I think there have been times I've looked at a lot of his posts. He's going over the top.
Yeah.
It's something that needs to be checked, so I don't have an issue with that. But as far as charging the protesters, I think, there's a little bit of tone deafness going on.
Yeah,
right now.
there may be. Let's get the
Yeah.
perspectives of our guests this hour. We have civil rights and trial attorney Adante Pointer, and also joining us, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor Franz Borgart. Adante, let me start with you. What are your thoughts about these charges against Turtle Boy and the protesters?
Well, I think these charges, to me, will just inflame the protesters and further place spotlight and highlight Turtle Boy in the cause that he's championing. So, I get where they presented this to a grand jury and the grand jury returned these charges. But at the same time, given that they would want to get this trial conducted in a way that there's going to be a fair trial on both sides, I think these additional charges will do nothing more but serve to highlight Turtle Boy's cause and inflame and impassion the community that he's rallied around this case. So I think that if looking at it on balance, they probably could have done with the 8 charges they already had versus piling on these additional ones.
Yeah, fair enough. And Franz Borgart, the community itself voted for some sort of investigation into the police department there. It tells me that there's issues in that community. Again, I don't know the motivations of Turtle Boy, but there seems to be a willingness of folks in that community to accept the idea that this cover-up is in fact real. And that tells me that there might be some problems.
It's like putting gasoline on a fire, Michael. The more you arrest this guy, the more it smells like, and I'm not saying this is in fact true, the more it smells like, wait, are you trying to cover something up? Are you trying to quiet somebody? And look, this guy, this Turtle Boy guy is getting exactly what he wants. Whether it's 60 charges, 100 charges, you're making him famous. And it's just, I agree with Judge, it's going to make trying the underlying case, the case that's really important, the case that we really should be talking about, it's going to make it impossible to weed out fairness, because all these external issues that have nothing to do with a fair jury all of a sudden are infiltrating the case. So I agree. I don't think charging him or getting a grand jury to charge him with additional counts is a smart move. I think ultimately that will play itself out over in time. I think you're just giving him what he wants.
Dante, are you surprised that the state hasn't asked for this case to be moved yet? Because they know the defense is saying that it's a cover-up by the Boston police. It's being held in Boston, and you've got such divisive opinions on each side that are all over the news in Boston.
Yeah, well, I could see the defense potentially asking for a change of venue, but at the same time, giving the defense is really the community are galvanized and rallying around Turtle Boy and the defense. They may actually just want to stay right there. They say, hey, we have some momentum, some home court advantage, and we actually like the press coverage, because each time Turtle Boy gets harassed, he's a martyr, and he's the poster child now for the defense versus Ms. Reed. It's Turtle Boy. You feel sorry for him. Why are they prosecuting him? Why are they persecuting him? He must be on to something. So if I'm the defense, I'm saying, let's sit right here in this venue where we already have people who are aware of this issue, and they're raising these reasonable doubt concerns about the case, which goes to the benefit of the defendant.
And I completely agree. I think the defense does want to keep it there.
Yeah, I think they do. And I think what they're doing here is, if they truly believe that this is a cover-up of some way, this is one of the only ways, Judge, to get it out there, get people's attention on it, get people looking at it. Because if you don't, then in the dark, if there is a cover-up, that's how cover-ups are able to succeed.
I agree with you completely.
Yeah, so I think they're doing the right thing and screaming loud. Again, if they believe, and it's not just because they think they have a weak case.
Right, and if they have any evidence of it at all, which is why this is such an exciting trial, I think, that's going to be coming up.
Looking forward to this one.
Absolutely, in 2024.
All right, I'm back. That was a good clip. I told you it was going to be a good clip. Oh, now I'm listening to it on my phone. I do want to do a couple more things. I might even want to check in on Kevin again. That would be funny. But you know what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to read. Actually, I'm going to do one more thing. I want to show a couple pictures today. We got a lot of good pictures today that came in. Aid was asking for pictures. I'm doing the wrong thing. Let me just bring up one thing here. Why is it? Oh, it's already on the screen. See, I'm a little out of it tonight. I've been working all week. I'm a little tired, but I'm a little amped too. This smile right here, I just love it. Tim Bradle. This is him smiling to the press when they asked him. I took the snap from Tom CPU's live feed. Maybe we'll bring that up. That's actually the one I want to bring up instead of going to Kevin. But this was hilarious. They asked him. I think I've already mentioned this on the show tonight. They asked him about Melo's performance. Did he just smile? He was very nice to Melo, but took the high road. But the press said it all for him. Pretty funny. You got some good pictures today. This one right here. I mean, look at Aiden. He's smiling. Aiden Carney looks very happy today. And it's so obvious. This does help the defense. Everything that Turtle Boy is doing does help the defense of the Karen Reed case. It's funny because a lot of his detractors claim the opposite, that he sunk the Karen Reed case. No, Court TV just said it, right? I mean, that was so obvious. These are people that follow cases all across the country. Both of those experts, I know some of them aren't so expert, But both of those were really good experts, I thought, because they're calling it right. I mean, look at this crowd. Look at them both smiling, both of these guys. It's great to see. Yeah, Kate Peters has been silent today. Where are they? All they got today is threats and name calling. They've called me a lot of names. They've been putting out videos of me. So you know what? I think I might. I'm going to read some of the. I think some Venmos came in tonight. Let's read them off if they have. This is the time. Okay, here's Carolyn, excuse me. She donated $5 on the Venmo app, and she says Bradle is hot. She thinks Bradle is hot. It's funny how a lot of folks mention how some of these characters are very hot. There's been a lot of that lately. Eliza Little gets a lot of. They like how hot she is. Now Bradle's getting it. I actually got a compliment the other day. Someone said I was hot. I was laughing at. I put that right on the screen. It was hilarious to me. But I guess Bradle's hot now too. We got $50 from Carolyn too. Same person, Carolyn. Wow, that's very generous. Thank you so much for the $50 donation. If she's listening, if you want some Young Jurks bumper stickers, we've got a few of those left. Hit me up in the comments. You can comment right there on Venmo and send over your address. I'll send you over some Young Jerk stickers. $50 donation. She says, love Rita in this donation. Thank you so much, Carolyn. And our boy, Michael Wilson, who called in earlier, Boston Mike, he says, let's effing go. Hashtag JO for John O'Keefe, his friend. He gave us, donated $20 on the Venmo app. Thank you so much, Michael. All right, I'm going to check the Cash App. We are donating 60% to the three funds tonight, 20% each. You can donate on the Cash App at Mike Crawford 1 or on the Venmo app, Mike Crawford TYJ. And right after Christmas, we'll be making another donation for all the donations that we've collected. We haven't collected that much lately, so this is actually a good night. We've actually got some donations, so we'll definitely be making some contributions. I can't wait. I love doing that. We've made a lot of contributions through you, your contributions. We also got $15, 15 from Elizabeth on the Cash App, and she says, thank you, Elizabeth. And we got $50 for Michelle, and she says, thank you for covering. This is must see TV. Thank you so much, Michelle. Thanks for watching, and thank you for donating. And you too, if you want bumper stickers, Michelle, hit us up with a reply. Send us your mailing address. You can also reach out to us on Twitter or the X, whatever you call that, the X app, at the Young Jurks, or on our Facebook at the Young Jurks. I think we might have just got another donation come through. Let me check. Maybe not. I don't know. I thought I saw one. Let's just see. Oh, yes. Heather. Heather just sent $10. Thank you so much, Heather, for the donation on the Venmo app. I want to thank everyone for supporting us. If you haven't, we just hit 5,000 subs on YouTube, too. That was awesome. Very good. I want to try to bring up Tom CPU. This is the one I was looking for on YouTube. There was, on Facebook earlier. I'm having some Facebook issues with my browser, and I couldn't find. But I remember now that Tom also recorded it too. I wanted to get Aiden's and Bradle's little press conference they did on the steps, and I'm just looking to see if I can find it now on Tom's. Here it is. It's gonna take me a second to get to the part that I want. I want to get past the Genetti on the. All right, I'm gonna bring this up now. going to close it with Tom CPU. I could go back to Kevin. Kevin is very entertaining. So he's losing it. It's like laughing at a train wreck, though. It kind of makes you feel guilty. It's like watching Faces of Death. Someone mentioned that earlier. I mentioned it, and then they said they couldn't get it out of their head for days after watching it. That's kind of like watching Kevin right now. So this is hilarious too. Like when Aiden comes down the steps here, it's like Taylor Swift. I've been saying that. The reaction is like Taylor Swift.
Hey, Janetti, he's not guilty. Look at all these smiling people. Karen Reed! Free Karen Reed! Janetti's making a fool of himself. My catchphrase. Amazed how anyone gets your money. Shorty to stop. No, I was going nowhere. I was going nowhere. Take it easy, guys. Everybody take it easy. Get it to me. Everybody take it easy. Oh, you stepped on my point. Everybody's going to get a chance. Go ahead, Ted. What about me, Aiden? What about my son? Yeah, what about Aiden? Tell him about me. Tell him about me. Wait, get off me. He had to off me. Tell him about me, Aiden. Tell him about me. Tell him about the teacher. Tell him about it. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Guys, congratulations, Aiden. Everybody, we're here to talk to everybody. We're going to make everybody happy. Don't worry about it. Do this again. Ted, go ahead.
Yeah, Tim, it sounded to me, and maybe I didn't hear it correctly, that he said he was considering seeking a dangerousness hearing.
I think that was on a suggestion by the judge. There's no dangerousness hearing. It's not going to pan out. It's just a straight release on personal recognizance. There's no conditions of release. There's no nothing. It's a straight personal recognizance. The most lenient release determination you could possibly get.
So those conditions that had been at the district court are now gone.
They're gone, correct.
No, I don't understand that. And so a superior court judge can't set the same conditions that would be set in a district court?
Well, the statutes are a little different. The judge apparently felt that the Commonwealth didn't make their case, and he wasn't going to make it for them. So we're going to leave it there.
What do you think about the Commonwealth trying to make this case? It seemed like you were struggling with that.
Seemed like Kevin Mello was struggling. That was the question, and it wasn't from Ted Daniel. It was from another reporter. I'd love to know who that reporter was. Pretty crazy to hear that.
Well, we've all been there, first of all, so I'm not gonna say anything about that. But the judge likes to throw curveballs.
We've all been there. We've all. He's look at how nice he's being, Bradle, to Ken Mello. We've all been there. I think Ken Mello's been there a lot. Been there often.
But I don't have any comment on that.
I can't comment how bad Mello did today. I can't. I got to be nice.
I don't think you did make the case. but we're pleased that the judge didn't do it for him.
At the end of the day, is this a weak case that the prosecution's bringing?
It's an incredibly weak case.
He's loving these questions. Is this a weak case? These are questions I would be asking. It's amazing these reporters are actually asking the right questions now.
Every bit of conduct here is First Amendment protected activity, even the indictments concerning the dispatcher. I want to invite everybody to take a look at the Pentagon Papers case in the Supreme Court, where journalists are completely insulated and protected from criminal liability for publishing material that was illegally taken from a agency, etc. They're completely protected. So I don't even know why they brought that charge. They should have never brought that charge.
Is this your reaction to the support here by all the people at
I'm blown away by the support. I feel like this issue is united left and right. People who, even if they might not have disagreed with me on topics I've written about before, I think we can all agree that government abuse, corruption is something that unites all of us. And I feel like my coverage of the Karen Reed story has gotten me a lot of different readers who might not have liked the content that I produced before. But we can all agree that what is happening to not only Karen Reed, to not only me, but also to the Canton 9 and the dispatcher who did nothing wrong except was a whistleblower about corruption, is a threat to justice everywhere, is a threat to the First Amendment, is a threat to free speech. And what you're seeing right now is a desperate move by a district attorney's office who is under federal investigation by the United States Attorney's Office. And in one of the witnesses in particular who I'm being charged with intimidating, they claim that I intimidated him, and as a result, he had to drop out of Bridgewater State University, Colin Albert. When in fact, what they failed to point out is that Colin Albert was visited in his dorm room at Bridgewater State 10 days before I ever heard of this story, with the summons to appear in front of a federal grand jury. So the heat was on them long before I came around. And any intimidation they're feeling is likely coming from the federal investigation into them.
Is it something that you wanted to say the judge inside, but you didn't feel comfortable and you'd say it now?
To the judge? I mean, I was perfectly satisfied with today. I believe the judge ruled correctly. This is a more serious court. And clearly Mr. Mello did not come prepared with any statutes to back up his argument. He looked like a deer caught in the headlights. And so we were very happy with the result today.
Mr. Carney, so your understanding that
All right, I'm going to stop. We got a few more super chats that came through. It's funny, people commenting on that my mic was muted. My mic was muted. It's been muted a few times. I keep doing that. I screwed up a few times tonight. I'm sorry about all the technical issues tonight. Bear with me. I'm not supposed to be a producer of my own show, but that's the way it works out. I like it, actually. Here's a good one. Bob Brown just sent $20 through the super chat. He says, Mike, to my favorite liberal, Merry Christmas. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you. I guess you're a conservative. I don't know. Are you a liberal? I guess you're probably a conservative, Bob. Merry Christmas to you as well, even if you are a conservative. I used to be a libertarian way back in the day, by the way. All right. So I love that Aiden said left and right, too. Left and right united. There's another super chat from Luna's mom. She says, I'll cash app going forward so you get all the monies. I could just be verbose there. LOL. I'll be Emmy on Cash App. Perfect. I love the Cash App. Yeah, it is true that YouTube takes probably 30%. They take a good amount of the money. And they make you wait. And you never know if you're actually going to get it because they could cancel you out of the program at any time for any reason. And they don't even have to tell you why. So that's the difficult thing about the YouTube chats. But I appreciate it because every month we do get a check so far. We got it today, actually. That was great. But I want to thank everyone who's been supporting us and sending donations and especially watching and sharing, liking.
based on the new Superior Court conditions, if you wanted to go question any of the people who had been previously questioned, there'd be nothing legally.
Another great
preventing you from
question
doing
here.
that.
I'll have to consult Mr. Bradle about that, but it's my understanding that there is
That would
that
be a yes.
perfectly permissible.
Okay.
It's my understanding.
No conditions.
All of the restrictions have been
He has,
listed. Yes, all of the restrictions have been listed. You can't break the law. That's pretty much what the judge said, but no one can break the law. So my conditions are no different than any of yours.
Mr. Bradle, are you concerned about a dangerousness hearing, sir?
No, there's not going to be a dangerousness hearing. I think the judge and Mr. Miller were just kind of talking out loud about that. That would be another absurdity in this case, trying to claim that Mr. Carney's dangerous to anybody, which is an absolute joke.
Absolute joke. It is such a joke. All right. Got another donation from Carolyn on the Venmo app. She says, brah, you, Aiden, and many others independent journos are reporters. I don't even agree with your politics at all, but reporting is reporting, and thanks being part of taking back the art of reporting. Thank you so much, Carolyn. Maybe I have a secret plan to convert some of you conservatives too. So keep that in mind when you're sending me the money. I'm gonna be like what Kevin says. I'm gonna have my mob, my angry mob of liberals. I'm gonna convert all you conservatives. Join my cult. I'm just kidding.
I just want to also tell everybody here, it's
Maybe I'm not, though.
encouraging that there are so many eyes on this case here, because that's what we need. We need eyes of the public on what's going on here. The government in this case just suddenly decided out of the blue, for their own self-interest, to declare that normal journalistic activity that all of you engage in is now a felony. That needs to be reversed. That needs scrutiny, and that's why we're so encouraged the fact that everyone is here today reporting on this, interested, questioning. This is what America's all about. So we can't thank you all enough for being here. We really appreciate it. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank everybody for coming. I really appreciate it.
Yeah!
It's like Taylor Swift. Here we go. I'm going to go back to
Brain
Kevin
bleeding.
for a minute here.
So, and brain bleeding is a very, very, even a small one would be a very serious thing. And the kind of bleeding that he would have been experienced would have been very serious from an injury like that.
Look at this.
So how
guy.
does something like that happen? We're told there were no other injuries to his torso.
He does not look good.
Let me just check to make sure we're still coming in.
Are we still coming in?
You guys can still hear me good, right? Because I do hear somebody texting me.
I want to see where he has his meltdown.
Who is constantly making temporary files that eventually
Oh,
get
God. Listen to this guy.
that were there. Striking John
I saved this for the
and
end.
back to 30. It means the full.
He's got
saying the
maps
full-
today. He's got maps. This is
He could have been. No, you
Oh,
would
he's got a timeline. Look at this guy.
part of that team.
Unbelievable.
I don't know. Maybe they should just say, let's not get anybody from Canton, because if you're going to get somebody from the same town, there's more likely to be some kind of 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon connection. But so maybe they should be more careful in the future on things.
Oh, this guy.
That cold bitch, that was her friend out there. Why didn't she tell the dispatcher that was her friend? Are you people mad? The people that say this stuff, I don't know,
He's
man.
mad.
I hope you're not doing brain surgery.
Oh my God, Kev. I hope you're not doing brain surgery. Let's leave it at that. I think we've all had enough of Kevin tonight. But what a good day it was. I mean, besides the threats that Rita got, it was a good day. And I feel like we're winning. Like the Timothy win for the Canton 9, that was a huge win. And the special town meeting. And again, it's liberals and conservatives, people middle of the road, everyone coming together. That's what's exciting. It makes me feel like way back when I, first got involved in a lot of this activities that I, doing, press work, but really activism back in the day. And specifically, it was cannabis. That was really what kind of, you know, how people say they got red pilled? I got activism pilled, let's say. It was with cannabis because I was a financial advisor who smoked cannabis for medical reasons, and I knew I could lose my job, and I actually did over it. So I, obviously wanted to change the laws on it. Being an athlete, I know a lot of athletes that use it for pain. So it was easy for me to just plug right into that space. And what I loved about it way back in the day is nobody thought we could change the law. And who actually started that ball rolling? It was libertarians, Republicans, People's Center, and a lot of Democrats and liberals. We all worked together. And we said, F politics, let's just work on this cause together. And that's what we did. And it feels a lot like that. And back then in Massachusetts, nobody, even when we got decrim on the ballot, it was so funny because we had seen the polling. I was at the right place at the right time because when I started, the polls, we were at like 30-40% that supported like decrim or medical and mass. But a couple years later, by the time we had put it on the ballot, we knew we were at 60-65%. People had flipped. They'd changed their mind. They'd seen enough. And that's the thing. When you're exposed to something for so long and it's so wrong, it takes time for everybody else to catch up. And that's like the cannabis issue. People caught up. People saw with their own life experience. And I feel like the more that they're exposed to what's going on right now, you only come back with the same conclusion that everyone does. And that's why there's a big crowd around Aiden right now. And it feels a lot the same. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens over the next couple months. And today felt like a Merry Christmas for all of us. I'd say keep it up. I don't know when we'll be back, when our next show will be. Definitely probably going to take a few days off doing shows during this Christmas break because I got a bunch of dogs that I'm going to be taking care of. I don't get a real Christmas, which is okay. I don't mind. I enjoy it. I got a lot of good Christmas presents from my customers and very happy. I got a full house of food upstairs. So in either way, we're going to be eating well. So looking forward to seeing everyone. Thank you so much for the donations and congratulations to everyone who's been fighting for this because I feel like we're getting closer every day. I see, I envision the future on this. The Tim Bradell show was a great show that we recently did. I'm thinking like, man, I can't wait to have Karen Reed on this show after she wins. Think about some of these shows that we could have in the future. How good that will feel. Keep that in mind, people. Keep your eye on the prize. Free Karen Reed, free Turtle Boy, and free the rest of the Canton 9. I see it happening. All right, I'll see everyone after Christmas. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Enjoy it. Enjoy the happy end of the year. And I guess we're going to get more sunlight now. That's what I'm really looking forward to, more sunlight. Free Karen Reed, absolutely. And if you want to support the Canton9.com, check that website out too. FreeKarenReed.net. You can donate directly. And if you want to support Turtle Boy, Aiden, you can just do a search for his Go Fund Me, Go Send Me, or whatever that is called. You'll just look it up. You'll find it. Google it. It will pop right up. I think we had some more donations come in again, did we? I'm not sure. No, those are the other ones. Okay. So I think we're good on donations, hopefully. Before we leave, yeah, we got Heather in. I just want to make sure. Let's see if we had anyone in the Cash App too. Oh, we did have more money come in, I think. Let's look at this. Yeah, we did. On the Cash App, Emmy, she said she was going to send some more money. She just sent $5. She said, did Kevin's mom pass and leave the yellow cottage? Do not know. That's a good question. Sandra Hart says, for you, she just sent $50. She said, for you, I donate to the other funds separately. So she wants me to keep this 50. Thank you, Sandra. And Emmy sent another $5. She said, for Luna's mom, did I get it right? Yes, you did. It went right through to me. Thank you so much. And I think we also read Michelle's earlier. She gave $10 as well. Thank you so much for the donations tonight. Yeah, we've had quite a bit of donations tonight. It's been great. I can't wait to add them all up and see what our next, you know what? I think it's time to do some donations. So we're going to be making our donations to the 3 funds based on just tonight. We did pretty good tonight. Thank you so much. And we had some money come in over the last couple, I think, a week or so. So we're definitely going to be making some contributions to the 3 funds this week. I can't wait. Thank you so much. I'll see everyone next time. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Like us, follow us. We're on so many places now. iTunes, Spotify. When we, get around to posting those audios, people have been asking us. We don't post them as much. We try. Please subscribe to them. We're also on Rumble. Follow us on Rumble. We're not always live on Rumble. We probably would be more if more people are following us on there. So if you want to see us more live on Rumble, definitely make sure you're subscribing on there. We're also on Twitter at the Young Jurks, Facebook, of course, at the Young Jurks. We're also on some other places too, streaming live. You can find us on Twitch. If you like Twitch, find us on Twitch. Follow us there too. I just got a comment from this Susan. She says, I'm starting a new job Tuesday, and I want to send you guys something soon, some money soon. Thank you so much, Susan. Really appreciate that. Pig Wiggly says, I was trying to find your Venmo to make a donation. It's actually on the screen, but if you just want it, it's Mike Crawford TYJ. So like the Young Jurks. Mike Crawford TYJ is our Venmo. And you can also send it on the Cash App at Mike Crawford 1. At Venmo, Mike Crawford TYJ. You can see it scrolling on the bottom of the screen right now. Merry Christmas, Lance. Thank you so much. I love all the comments. I love you guys, how you support us and you stick with us. And I love all the Christmas wishes too from Colleen and Peter A. And I guess it's Aiden's birthday coming up on the 26th. So happy birthday to Aiden as well. I guess he's a Christmas birthday one day after. Glamour Sue says, give, send, go. That's where Aiden's fundraiser is. Thank you so much. Donkey says, Merry Christmas, Mike. Happy holidays from Mike. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you next time. Young Jurks kicking out. Have a good night.